Yo! It's another episode of the Hockey Happy Hour. We got live reactions to the Flyers and the Detroit Red Wings, and we're also going to go over all the crazy trade deadline action from yesterday and a few days before even. Join us. Let's go.
Let's go! This ain't the puck like he forced his kick and he stinks!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour live on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Sassuti, along with the Dark Wing, Brian Daly.
Ow! What's up, yo?
And the Broken One, Rob Povia.
What's up, fam?
And tonight, well, we're going to be doing a live reaction to the Red Wings and the Flyers, and well, I would like to say that I am super pumped, but I'm kind of in mourning right now. It's a tough day to, first game I get a chance to watch, and it's going to be without the captain. It's a tough one. I'm not going to lie. It's a tough one tonight. But I knew this day would come. We all knew this day would come, actually. It had been rumored. It had been possible for a while now, and, well, it's here. Claude Giroux is now no longer a Philadelphia Flyer. He is now a card-carrying member of the Florida Panthers, and apparently the only team he'd say yes to on a trade. And, well, we got Owen Trippett back in return with a few draft picks on top of it. We'll talk about that, and we'll react to the Flyers and the Red Wings tonight. And, as usual, the Hockey Happy Hour brought to you by Manscaped. Listen, if you want to be successful in life, not just with the ladies, but with anything at all you set your mind to, you got to have confidence in yourself. And what better way to unlock that confidence than Manscaped? Take care of all that sensitive regions and everything. You feel great at the end of the day, and you get 20% off of your order, free shipping and what have you, with the A2D code at manscaped.com, and you can unlock your confidence and use the tools. Always use the right tools with Manscaped. Because, listen, ladies don't like what, Bri?
Junk funk.
Junk funk. So, get rid of that. Just get that shit out of there. Use Manscaped. They'll take care of it. And for today's question, it is the return for Claude Giroux was ideal. That little number right there for the poll question brought to you by Bet USA. And listen, guys, we all know that when March Madness rolls around, money goes flying. And, well, the playoffs for the NHL and the NBA will be coming around the corner real soon. So more money is going to be flying around. Bet USA is the best, or the Bet US is the best place to go. It is the leading online sportsbook that has been in the market for over 25 years. And you can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. Use that link right there that you see at the bottom for a 125% sign-up bonus. So you get a lot of nice little perks here if you sign up with A2D. And, go make yourself some money. Do a little side hustle. Why not? All right. So the return for Claude Giroux. Was it ideal? Agree or disagree? I'll let you guys take the floor. What do you think?
Rob, you can go first.
Sure. To me, on the surface of this poll, I'm going to disagree. But that being said, I'm okay with this deal. It's just not ideal, and this is why. What I didn't like was that the Flyers received Florida's first round 2024 selection unless that pick falls within the top 10. In that condition, Philadelphia will receive Florida's 2025 first round selection. So that moving another year further away is going to delay this retool, and just that stipulation that, okay, you didn't get a first round pick for this draft. That's fine. The next draft is the one that's going to be absolutely loaded. Okay, you didn't get a first for that. Well, you may not need, at least at this point, that first round pick, because it's going to be a very deep draft. So you get it for the next year, and you're banking on maybe Florida coming back to earth and having that be a decent selection in that first round. But if it's too decent, now you're pushing it off to the following year after that. So that, to me, there's a lot of positives that I'll get into, but just for now, that's the main reason why I disagree with the poll.
See, this is tough for me because I value Giroux more than a lot of other people, and I like some of the pieces back. I like Owen Trippett. The kid's a natural scorer. He needs a chance. He didn't have a chance in Florida because look at how fucking stacked they are. It's ridiculous. So he never got a shot. So he was stuck in the AHL. Good news is 23 years old. So he's getting ready to come into his prime. What better way to come into your prime than with a new team, a fresh start, new scenery, get going. And he played a good game in his debut. So didn't wind up on the score sheet, but he had a good game against the Islanders. Now here's my bugaboo, and it's kind of similar to Rob's, and this is what really drug the deal down for me, was 2024 first round pick. That could potentially be 2025. I completely missed that during the while the deal was happening, but we know what we're getting in the 2022 draft. We definitely know that the 2023 draft is going to be even better. We don't know about the 2024 draft, and we don't know about the 2025 draft. Are you going to sit there and tell me that the Florida Panthers couldn't cough up a 2023 first rounder and maybe get a later pick in 2024? Maybe flip it? Are you going to sit there and tell me that Claude Giroux isn't worth more than what you got? Like, I get it. Flyers' hands were tied. Like, Florida had the leverage. So, like, I get that. The fact that you traded for a 2024 first-round pick when you have no idea about this draft class yet, that irks me, and that brought the deal down for me. You could have gotten more, should have gotten more, but again, I get Giroux's side of it. Had he actually given the Flyers, say, hey, let's talk to 2 or 3 more teams. Let's talk to Colorado. Let's talk to Boston. Let's talk to the Rangers. Work your way. I mean, Giroux knew where he wanted to go. So, do I fault the Flyers? No. Do I fault Fletcher? No. But I still think the deal could have been better.
It'll definitely be one of those deals that will ultimately, besides the picks, obviously, and what they could turn into, especially that first-round pick, if Owen Trippett turns out to be really, really good, maybe we'll look back at this deal and say, okay, it was not as bad as we originally thought, mostly because of that pick. Maybe Trippett can sway that pick into or sway this trade into our favor. We'll see. But as for the pick itself, I get exactly why it's frustrating, because it's not a guarantee in anything in the draft, because you could pick anybody at any point and they may not pan out. Hell, I mean, Flyers picked number 2 overall, and we took Nolan Patrick. So, never a guarantee. So, the thing is that I can understand that frustration. And, the fact that you're not guaranteed to even be picking in next year's draft is also even more frustrating. I could see that side of it, too. So, but, again, like you were saying, Brian, like it seems like, and what Rob was saying too, it seems like, Giroux didn't want to go anywhere else but Florida. And, well, that kind of left Florida in the position of, okay, well then we could make this a benefit for us just as much. We could get Giroux, and we don't really have to give up a whole lot for him, honestly. And that's true. They didn't, honestly.
It's true, Maddie. It's true. But there's a little bit more to that. I'm going to get into that. I'm glad you set me up for that because, well, let me start off on a couple of things. There is a lot to like about this deal. Like to your point, Maddie, Owen Trippett, he looked really good. He's a much better prospect than we currently had on this roster. Mission accomplished. You unloaded 2 contracts for players who were not going to be a part of the future here. You do that with Rubtsov and
Bunneman.
yeah, thank you, Bunneman. His name was escaping me. You unload those 2 contracts; they're not part of the future here, and now you could substitute by inking college players, i.e., give Bobby Brink that entry level contract. Now you have the room to do so, and you focus on the 23 draft because you're still getting that 3rd round pick, right? It's going to be a loaded pick, and you're looking beyond. I'm okay with it. It just that one factoid of learning that could go to 2025. That's a bit of a conundrum. But here's the issue, Maddie. All right, a lot of people took to arms on social media about this trade, and I just think those people had unrealistic expectations for what the Flyers would receive for a rental player. That's all G is, a 34-year-old rental player. And you can say what you want about G fucking the Flyers over by only wanting a deal to Florida towards the deadline, but that came after G discussed the future with Chuck. Remember we talked about that presser with G, talking about the future and talking about maybe a potential re-signing. That was a big topic of discussion with Chuck Fletcher. And basically Chuck said, the organization is going to be moving forward without him, so to me, G's got to make the best decision for his future right there. I have 0 problems with that. Colorado was not willing to dish a prospect at the level of Tippett anyway. They weren't going to give up Alex Newhook. So I think we got the best prospect possible anyway. Maybe not the picks, but at least you exchange one ginger for another. So it's balanced.
Yes. You gotta have as many soulless people on your
Right.
team as possible. So nothing.
And there's no guarantee to Florida that G's going to re-sign there. I mean, that's the conclusion. So you can think, okay, well, maybe Florida could get G for a couple seasons now and not that true rental player because he did pick that was an area that he wanted to go. But there's no guarantee for that. So at this point, I don't know. I was more okay with the deal. There was people that I swear to Christ, I thought they were going to go burn down Comcast Spectacor. They were ready. They were ready. They had torches in hand, ready to go. And I'm like, what about all that other chatter that we always heard about this team where G should have been traded 3-4 years ago? Now, mind you, he was turning the clock back a bit this season, right? But you got to have a realistic expectation for what it is, for what he is, and understand the game of hockey and how it rolls.
Yeah, but on the other side of that coin there, Robbie, it's he goes down there. What's to say he doesn't just start setting the world on fire? Because he's going to be playing on Barkov's line.
Right.
He will be on Barkov's line. They've already announced that. So you know how he is with dishing the puck, and with Huberdeau too. He's going to be productive. He's going to be putting points up. So,
well,
I originally think they got fleeced? Yeah, initially. But thinking about it, having some conversations with people, one of the guys that follows HUD, Sean Elliott, I'm sure, Robbie, you've probably seen him around.
Oh, yeah.
Me and him were talking a little bit, and the one thing he brought up was the one thing that could make this deal a little bit better, and it did make it a little bit better for me, was what else he did at the deadline. And I know we'll get a little bit more in depth to it, but I thought with the 2 deals that they made, with the Rangers and the Oilers, I thought it made the D deal a little bit better considering what they got in return for Brassard and Braun. So I thought that screwed it up a little bit, but I'm still not in love with the deal.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this: if he goes on to produce real well down in Florida with natural goal scorers, just reinforces everything we've been bitching about for the better part of 4 years now. It's just like, well, that's on the organization. That ain't on G. That ain't on nobody. That's on the organization for fucking twiddling their dick for the last goddamn decade.
I think there's some guys out there that bitch just to bitch about it because you can't make him happy. And I know that for a fact. I know a couple people that are like that. And for me, you guys know, I'm not bitching to bitch about it. I'm bitching because I think they got undersold on Giroux. I truly believe they got undersold on Giroux. I mean, you look at Hampus Lindholm. Look at the hole he got. Look at the hole that they got for Rickard Rakell. And granted, they're younger players and one's a defenseman, so you can't really compare the defenseman to the forward value. But they could have gotten a lot more for what they gave up. I think they got undersold, and I think Chuck Fletcher didn't feel like he had much of a choice but to take a deal.
Well, I guess we'll have to see if how the offseason goes now, and we'll see what his move is, because the trade deadline moves are intriguing to me. But we'll talk about that later on when we get to the intermission.
Hey, if one game is, any sort of indication about Owen Trippett, total shot first mentality. Let's go.
We need that.
Two guys.
Yes. We got Atkinson and Trippett on that one.
Real quick. What's up, Dave? What's up, Jesse? Tom, I see you in the chat. Troy, my guy. Bryce, what's going on, fam?
Benny's Nation. And also, emotional support Peacock Man goes on to say, why is everyone sad? I'm here to provide emotional support because I am an emotional support Peacock Man. Well, thank you, emotional support Peacock Man. We appreciate that.
Well, it's an end of an era. I mean, you're talking about one of the greatest Flyers of all time we lived through with Claude Giroux.
Mm-hmm. It's tough. I mean, that's what...
It's been real, Claude. It's been real.
Yeah. It's 10-plus years. And on top of that as well, he's the longest-running captain in the history of the Flyers. And he's been the player for the Flyers for that whole period of time. I mean, obviously, you knew he was going to be great when he was first showing up in the league around 2008. And you started to see it really take form in 2012, which resulted in him getting the captaincy because Chris Pronger's career was over. And so from that point forward, it's just the man has done everything he can to make this team competitive as best he can. And has it always worked? Obviously not, but not really his fault. It's more on the organization. He did what he could, and he played as best he could given the circumstances, which were not easy. He put up with a lot of bullshit in Philadelphia, honestly. I did say a long time ago, too, if he did, as some people would say, if he did fuck the Flyers, he'd be like, well, can't say the Flyers didn't have that shit coming to them. They were a bit of a dick past the honeymoon period with him. Not really doing the best they can for him. But,
I mean, when you shut down the possibility of re-signing with the team, and that's not a possibility, like that makes me hate on G even less for saying I just want to go to Florida. At this point, it's the best fit. It's what's good for him. It's what's good for his family. It's what's good for, potentiality of making the most potential, annual value, in the few remaining years he has in his career.
Yeah. But all the same, though, the G deal, it's definitely going to, it'll have its ramifications, as all deals do. Owen Trippett will be one of the big factors in that. We'll see we'll see what he can bring to the table. Maybe he has a solid end to his year. I'm sure he's probably miserable because now that he is no longer on a playoff team. And
I think he'd rather. No, I'm going to be real with you, Matty. I think he'd rather play for a bad NHL team than play for a good AHL team. Because remember, he wasn't on the roster.
Yeah. That's a good point.
He was in Charlotte.
Yeah. That's a good point.
You could get an opportunity to crack in that lineup, so now you can. I mean, granted, Matty's point isn't totally diminished there because injuries happen. Then all of a sudden, Owen Trippett is your playoff darling. Guy that comes out of nowhere, a la what G did for this team when he came into the league.
Yeah.
True. But I think he's got a better opportunity here. I mean, I don't think he really fit into the system in Florida anyway. I thought he was always okay there. But I don't know. I saw some energy and a nice little bounce in his step in the game against the Islanders. I think he's got a legit shot here. And I think if he gets on the right line with the right guys, I think that Trippett is going to flourish in Philadelphia.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. Don't the Panthers run some of the most cycle plays in the NHL, that cycle game. And it looks like to me that Tippett's that streaker, that, the guy that just flies down the boards and fires it on net, or makes, he's not looking for the playmaking. He's looking for the shot.
Yeah, no, I mean, they do run a lot of cycles. I mean, you saw it in the Flyers game when they got smacked around and found a way to come back. I still don't know how they did that, but, you saw that in the first period, especially on the power play. That's all they do is they cycle the puck. That's why their power play is so good, because they keep everything moving. Everybody's always moving. Nobody's sitting in the same spot. So, that plays huge dividends, especially when you have guys on your team that can skate well, that can control the puck. And you have guys on your first two lines that can, play up tempo. And that's a lot of things that Ryan Swoop is saying that, he wants to see Flyers do. But yeah, I mean, now I think that this might be a little bit of a better system for him. Instead of being the streaker, he could be, he could be the guy that sits at the top corner or at the top of the circle, kind of like Ovechkin does, and just shoot the puck. He doesn't have to worry about skating around as much. He could just focus on getting open and putting himself in good position to get a good shot off.
Dylan saying, what's going on, guys? Disagree to the poll. Giroux screwed the Flyers by only going to Florida and not getting Barron and first with more from Colorado. I'll still stand by.
That was the offer from Colorado?
They wound up doing that deal with somebody else because they moved
Montreal.
Barron. Yeah. But the thing is, if that was their package, and Giroux still said no, I mean, honestly, I'm not mad at Giroux for doing it. The organization fucking deserved it, quite frankly. This piece of shit organization deserves everything they get coming to them. And more, quite frankly. Benny's Nation saying...
continued bitterness.
It's more continued bitterness at the organization, not at Giroux, because this organization's garbage. But anyway, emotional damage from Benny's Nation.
Well, that actually says emotonal damage, whatever emotonal is.
Yeah, I have no clue what you're talking about there.
He misspelled emotional.
Oh, I see what he did. Okay.
You must have just woke up not that long ago, didn't you?
Yes.
Right.
So, good old overnights. Anyway, Chris Dunn saying fleeced in the G deal. Shocker.
What's up, Chris?
Yeah, what's up, Chris? What's up, everybody in there? And what's up, Joe Povia? Saying, sup. What's up, Joe?
What's up, Joe? It's been a while.
And we got Roska saying, Dadonov is with the Anaheim Ducks.
For now. That's a whole nother story we could talk about a little bit later.
All right, so, gentlemen, the Flyers with Owen Trippett and the rest of the team and few of the players that are no longer on the team are now preparing to face off with the Detroit Red Wings. What do you expect to see here tonight? I mean, the Red Wings, they're probably not making the playoffs at this point. They showed a little bit of something this year, but not enough to get them over the hump. For the Flyers, obviously we're just trying to end the year. Everybody's so fucking done with this year probably by now. It's not funny. The question is, what do you expect to see tonight from both the Flyers and the Red Wings?
Well, a game that if Flyers just don't match up well, we saw that in those back-to-back home and road games. They had no answer for Mo Seider. They had no answer for Lucas Raymond. They had no answer for Dylan Larkin. So, but that's a different team now a little bit. You look at the warm-up lines coming into tonight. I'm not too excited about that top line where you have Connaughton centering Van Riemsdyk and Atkinson. Yeah, that same Connaughton that played defense this year. But I like how Hayes has been playing with Farabee and TK. They've been rocking and rolling on that second line, along with Frost, Lindblom, and newfound member Owen Trippett, number 74. And then, of course, I mean, the fourth line's been a solid energy line all year with Brown, Willman, and McEwen. A lot of people were upset Jerry Mayhew was waived by this club. Yes. That was my setup for you, Mr. Daly.
Yeah, hi. We got him. Thank you.
Well, we lost.
I mean, again, a journeyman that's not part of the future. So I didn't have as much problem with that. I don't think there's certain guys that you can waive contractually and certain guys you can't. Just makes, fiscal sense. And I get it. It doesn't maybe appeal to the fan base at times because he was one of the better players on the Flyers this season. There's no two ways about that. But I don't know. I just feel that, I'd like to see a little bit more youth infused into this lineup. I mean, you got York, been paired up with Proby for the past few games. That's nice to see. Sanheim and Risto have been just continually gelling. And then who cares about Yandel and Sealer? Go fuck themselves. At least Yandel can. But I just want to see more. I want to see more youth, especially as the AHL season concludes. I want to see Zamula up here on that third D pairing. Bring back Isaac Ratcliffe up, Wade Allison if he's ready to go. Even Forrester. You know what I mean? The last couple games of the season, get their beaks wet, see what you got. At this point, you're not playing for nothing. So just looking back, reeling it back in for tonight against Detroit, it's going to be a little bit more of an infused lineup. I'd like the effort. Just like when you fire a coach, when you trade your captain, that shakes up a locker room, just like pulling the goaltender in the middle of the game, get a solid effort tonight. So hopefully we get some different results, something to be a little bit happy about. Although what I want to throw to you guys, I hear a lot of clamor for why the fuck are Flyers even winning games at this point. I want to set that back to you because you guys have talked about that over the past weeks.
I mean, honestly, with the way that the lineup is now, I don't really expect the Flyers to win too many anymore. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, they might get a few hard-earned victories here and there, a little bit of youthful effort and what have you to try and prove something. But overall, I'll probably say the Flyers are probably going to lose a lot of games now going down the stretch here. So,
but is that a good thing for draft position now? Like, what's your philosophy, your strategy there,
Oh, I'm fine with that. If adding to draft position, it's like, all right, fine. I'll take it. If the higher the pick, loaded draft, I'll take it. I'm not complaining, honestly.
Well, I kind of do want them to win a few more games because I want them to start building some more chemistry and putting things back to where they belong, to the way it was earlier in the season because they started off the season so hot. They really did. And, maybe there was some toxicity in the locker room because, like I said, they came out and I thought they played well against the Islanders overall. Got the 2-1 win. That second line, obviously, being their main source of offensive production. I think that, you want to give this team something to build off of going into next year. And to Robbie's point, I would love them to bring up some more of the younger guys so you can start putting some of these pieces in place and seeing what you have. Because that's kind of what most rebuilding teams do at this point. They trade away their pieces. They traded away the UFAs that they know aren't going to re-sign. And instead of letting them walk for nothing, you get something back. And, I think they did that a little bit. Obviously, you wanted to get a little bit more back. I wanted to get a little bit more back for Giroux. Braun, I thought was a good deal. And then, obviously, I think the Brassard deal was a good deal, too. So that opens up 2 free roster spots there. You got to bring up some youth here and start seeing really what you have and building towards something. I mean, this draft class, I think after the second round, is kind of blech. But, in these first 2 rounds, I don't think it's really going to matter where they draft as long as they're going to be a top 10 pick regardless. So you're going to get – that's going to absolutely put them in good shape for the draft, but you want to also put yourself in good shape moving forward as a team, as an organization. And in order to do that, start putting pieces in. Start seeing what you have. Start putting things together. Be like, okay, Tyson Forrester looks like he's all right. Morgan Frost, we could probably trade at the draft. Start making notes and stuff because there's more moves coming. Right. There's absolutely more moves coming. Because that's what rebuilding teams should do. Because if you watched the trade deadline and saw what one of the better rebuilding teams did, that's how you do it. You trade away your UFAs, you get something for them, you don't let them walk. And then you build from there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they got some tough contracts to move too, which is hard for them as well. Otherwise, I would have probably freed up some more space.
Yeah, that's the problem with signing big, giant fucking deals. That's why I don't like them. You avoid them at all costs like they're a fucking plague, which they are. But anyway, Benny's Nation is saying, I'd like to see York play on the top D line. Wouldn't be surprised if he winds up getting an opportunity to do so.
It's been.
And then Chris saying he really wanted to trade Jones for a second round to bring over that huge Russian goalie from the Phantoms. And Rob, you responded well to that by just saying that the market dried up for the goaltenders.
Yeah.
And
to be real too, also, I think after what people saw Marc-Andre Fleury go for, I think they're like,
no,
I'm good.
Yeah,
we're good. We're good.
Oh, that's funny. Let's see here. Greg saying, "What's up? What's up, Greg?" And he goes on to say, "Completely disagree to the poll. Claude screwed us by limiting it to the Panthers."
I wonder if he did that because he was salty because he didn't want to leave Philadelphia to begin with.
No. I don't know if it's that. I think he's more insulted that he wouldn't be re-signed. That'd probably be where the more insult would come from, honestly.
I mean, who's to say he wouldn't have gotten re-signed?
That's pretty much what was effectively said during their meeting. I mean, from what I've been following, from Jordan Hall and Fertitas and what have you, and I just think that there was a lower likelihood that he would be re-signed in Colorado. I think Florida, there's more of a potentiality there, and at least if you're going to go for the opportunity that makes sense for your family, yes, but also gives you the best chance to win the cup. And I mean, what the move prior that Florida made, Ben Sherratt, correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean that they're all in. I mean that's what I mean, obviously, yeah. No, I mean there was time to sort of negotiate that transaction going by and realizing that, like I said, I mean, you could say screwed or not. I don't think you were getting I know what Dylan said before about what Colorado gave up in their trade, but I kind of like Tippett a little better anyway. And I mean, yeah, I already told you that I'm not as pleased with the pick, but I mean, other moves are gonna, you're gonna be able to. What if you package some of these picks and a Morgan Frost to move up to the first round in 2023?
I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios now. But I think the reason why I like Tippett a little bit better than Barron is I believe Barron's a defenseman.
Oh.
And as much as they need defensemen, they need shooters first.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing too, Rob, on that second line and the third defensive pair.
Well, yeah, just that they're rocking with seven D-man tonight, but Connaughton can play up forward or whatever and satisfy. Maybe you see Brown double shift. Maybe I don't foresee Kevin Hayes double shifting. You don't want to chance that groin, but maybe give Frost more ice time. To Brian's point, see what this kid can do. Before you make a decision on him being a part of the future or not.
Huh? I don't know if I like that.
It's makeshift lineups. This is
no,
we don't.
Yeah,
we don't see much of this. This is like kind of shit that usually the Coyotes do.
Yeah, that's true.
Which they re-signed for Melko. So there you go.
Yeah, sorry, Roscoe.
But Amelia saying, "What's the Provy situation? When did he become such a bitch? The moment Matt Niskanen retired and Ryan Ellis got hurt."
I think he's always really been a bitch, but
no, there's been some talk that he is not popular in this locker room. He's been throwing, pointing fingers. When it's he himself who is turning over the puck. It's he who himself is backing up on the blue line and giving room. It is he who himself is getting beat like a rented mule, but yet he's, throwing his teammates under the bus. You know what? I'm surprised that he wasn't packaged in a deal, but I mean, maybe you can smooth that out. I mean, like we've gone back and forth on Proby on this show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, especially when the last live reaction we did, and he's got a play right in front of him. All he's got to do is stick his stick out, and the dude drops to the ice.
Yeah, that was a stupid
come on.
move. Yeah. That might be something that they might look at in the offseason if necessary. If not, maybe, like you said, they'll try and smooth things over with them, see if they could calm him down, and see if that will go away over time. But if it doesn't, then you really do have to make a decision then. But
I just
Benny's...
trade his ass now.
I mean, I kind of would too, because it's like, why take the chance? But I'm trying to see why their justification of not considering a deal right now would be, just on the devil's advocate side of things. But Benny's Nation saying, we'll be doing the same thing that every other team in that bottom third of the league will be doing. And Dylan saying...
We'll be down there not that long. We'll be down there soon enough. Don't worry.
Fletcher got to win fleecing the Oilers for a fourth for Brassard. Well, we'll definitely be talking about that. And Benny's saying, okay, he was doing the correction on that one. And the correction was for Brian. And then Chris said, send JVR, Hayes, and Brown down to the Phantoms if they get picked up. Oh, well. Phantoms will have a chance and bring up Allison, Rakell, and Zamula. Unfortunately, I think that those are two-way deals. So I think that they would just automatically go down. Maybe not Browns. Browns is not, because we grabbed him off of waivers anyway in the first place.
I'm on board completely. I'm on board with JVR, but the problem is I don't think anybody claims him. Hazy I want to keep, and I'm pretty adamant about keeping him. And Patrick Brown, he's been a good energy guy.
Yeah, and out of all of them, I think Patrick Brown would be the one who gets claimed, honestly.
Honestly. Any NHL team would take what he does for a hockey team. I mean, there's a reason why he's become Yo's favorite.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anthony saying, hey, guys. Hey, Anthony. Oh, by the way, Anthony, congratulations. You finally got your wish. You finally got rid of Claude Giroux. Your day has finally come, good sir. Your wish came true.
Your moment in the sun is here.
Yes. Rosca saying, Shane Wright to the Coyotes in the number 1 draft pick.
Unfortunately, that is actually probably very accurate.
And then
Anthony... one more year of JVR, some bitch. Some bitch. Some bitch.
And then Anthony's saying, I'm surprised Bobby Clark didn't criticize Fletcher. I mean, honestly, I think Bobby Clark's saving all that for Ron Hextall. Anyway, Benny's Nation saying, I think Morgan needs to be played at his natural position, center. I thought he played well last game when they had him at center. That's a good point. I mean, we've seen Frost, unfortunately. He's made a few errors in judgment, but I think that might have something to do with it. He has had to play wing. So it could be that where he's playing a position he's not used to, and center might be better for him, honestly. Let's see here.
That's interesting.
Yeah. He's just collecting. He's just trying to tack on to the Iron Man streak. It's disgusting. Wave his ass.
And for Yandel, yeah. Dressed 70 because because of me saying Yandel's old ass.
Delete.
And Anthony's like, how much does the Flyers have cap room? Not that much. Not compared to some other teams in the league, that's for sure. Hell, there's a reason. Well, we did have to do some salary retention. However, the Giroux one comes off at the end of the year. Does the Brassard one come off? Was he only signed to 1 year? I think he was only signed to 1 year.
Yeah, here's a 1 year deal.
Okay, then. So at least that comes off at the end of the year, too.
Current cap space is 12 mil.
All right, it's a little bit better than I thought, but
it'll improve, like you said, once Giroux and Brassard, after this year. So I think I was hoping for a projected or cap friendly, but it doesn't.
But here's the thing. All right, guys, Flyers organization, you're gonna have some cap. Do not blow it on a big name veteran. Do not go out for a big name player. For the love of God. Will you please, for the love of God, do not go and grab a top free agent. We're done with that, right?
Some of the boys over on Devereaux were saying like, oh, they should hunt after like Johnny Gaudreau, and I mean, I get it, you know what I mean? There's always that narrative, but nah, save that money for ECLs. I mean, ELC, entry level contracts, right? And just, you know, like build with what you got from within. Like, you know, there's no point you're not going to win at least for the next 3 seasons.
Yes,
you know, and really commit to the retool. Commit to it.
Well, let's play this game here real quick. What if it's a top name RFA?
Depends on what he wants. If he wants a lot of money in a long-term deal, I'm like, fuck you.
If he's 23 years old, I'm gonna. If he's a top RFA, he wants to come to Philly and he wants a contract. I'm gonna consider it.
Oh,
especially if he's like 23, 24.
Oh, okay, all right. If he's 23, that's a different ball game. All right, my bad. All right.
Yeah, I mean, he could be, you know, considered, you know, like part of that retooling, but I don't think that, you know, those situations, and it depends on what you're talking about. I mean, if it's a future superstar, yeah, that could cost some ducats, but generally those guys aren't going to be that expensive. So I'd be open to that too. I get that element, just, you know, for the retooling. But you talk about Johnny Gaudreau, he's 28, a little bit older, still young enough, but think about the money that would take.
Yeah, he's gonna cost a penny. And the thing about Johnny is, and I'm gonna ask this seriously, does he make this team better? I don't think bringing Johnny in, he will make this team any better.
I mean, honestly, too, it's like, what exactly, besides the narrative, what's the reason for even bringing him in? There is no reason. He doesn't even want to leave Calgary. So what's the point? He doesn't even want to come to Philadelphia. So it's like, enough. Let it go. Same thing with Trout. Let it the fuck go.
I think
never going to wear a Philadelphia jersey. Just not happening.
Well, Trout's definitely not, because he signed. He pretty much locked up the rest of his career with the Angels.
Gotcha, but you get my point.
Oh yeah, with Johnny, like I would never say that Johnny's a bad player, and I'm not saying that he is by any stretch, by any margin, whatever. Johnny just does not make this team better. Is he faster? Yeah. Is he a little bit more finesse? Yeah. But here's the difference between what Johnny does and what the rest of this team does. And it's all the same. He's a passer. He's a better passer than most of the other guys have, but he's a playmaker. He's not a scorer. Flyers need goal scoring. They don't need more guys that are going to pass the puck 7 or 8 times before they even take one shot in the offensive zone. And that's the reason why they have as many turnovers as they do. It's not because the players are bad. It's they're passing too much.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's a big issue. You can't have a bunch of passers. You got to have somebody be selfish out there.
I mean, it's one thing if you get the puck and you're getting ready to shoot and you're like, oh, I don't have a lane.
Yeah,
and then you move the puck. That's one thing. But you're sitting there just cycling with the puck, and you're just going pass after pass after pass, and nobody's taking a shot, you're going to turn the puck over eventually. It's bound to happen because everyone's going to pick up on like, oh, okay, he's going to pass, he's going to pass. All right, time for me to jump. And they will. And they always do. That's why the Flyers are one of the teams, I believe they're one of the teams leading the league in odd man rushes.
Don't be surprised. Dylan saying Fletcher licking his lips to sign PK Subban to an 8x8. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Absolutely fucking not. PK Subban is trash. It's been trash since he left Nashville. All right. Back to our first period has begun, ladies and gentlemen. So,
hooray.
Yes. And by the way, for all the comments brought to you by Gleason's Bar, which is located at 6700 Mill Creek Avenue in Levittown, PA. Use promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in and take out, or go online at gleasonsbarandsteaks.com. And the first period sponsor for tonight, as always, if you are looking to buy or sell a home, you want to contact Alan Foy at eXp Realty LLC. Give him a call at 302-682-8820 or visit him on the web at alan.foy at exprealty.com. All right, so as the first period gets underway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a look here. Jeff Blashill currently still the coach. I'm sure that makes Don still very happy. Who is not in the chat right now. I'm stunned. But
where's Don flipping out the Benjamins?
Yeah. Oh, you know what that is? It's because he keeps on making a bet and he keeps on getting it wrong, and he keeps on getting the interest rates going up. He's hiding. He's hiding from the damn loan sharks. Anyway. Benny Station saying there is a difference between a playmaker and a good/great playmaker. We don't have good playmakers. Yeah,
Right.
And that's definitely true.
Kind of my point. And you don't have guys that want to shoot. You know, it's nothing against Johnny. If I feel like Johnny could make a difference on this team right now, I would absolutely be like, yo, go get him. Don't give him a 5 or 6 year deal though. Give him like a 3-year deal, and then go from there. But he just right now he does nothing for this team. He does not make this team any better.
And Chris was saying Peter Forsberg, great playmaker. He was. And he was great for Colorado. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was good for the 1 year for the Flyers, but then his ankle injury pretty much took him out of the game. Literally took him out of the game because after they traded him in Nashville, he was gone out of the league.
I was so mad when that happened too, because I was like, finally, Peter Forsberg's here. Gonna get to watch him a little bit more closely, and next thing you know, crack, pop, up, he's done.
Yep. What were you gonna say, Rob?
Oh, I was gonna say, isn't it a bad thing? Like when they were playing the Islanders, and it was a good win. But the whole time I just had the game on mute and had Eulogy by Tool on in the background. The depressive state.
I mean, at least you picked a good band. I'll give you that one.
Hey, their new single's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, man. Still have yet to see those guys live. I gotta do that, actually. I gotta check them out. But anyway. Yeah, definitely band to check out. Favorite
they
song,
were just
though.
In the area, right?
Were they? Oh, I missed them again.
I think so.
Oh, well. But anyway, would say my favorite song, though, would be probably Sober by Tool. Although I won't be sober for a while from this team.
You and me both, brother.
Let's see here. Shot in on Hart. Hart makes a pretty straightforward save there.
I mean, they've been clogging up the neutral zone, which has been nice to see, but just continuous sloppy play with the puck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the position now. It's like, all right, I'm not even necessarily invested in the result. I'm more invested in, am I going to see an individual step up to the plate that's young and up and coming? That's what I'm really looking for right now, more so than anything else.
I was surprised that Detroit wasn't as active as they usually were on the deadline. I guess they really like what they have so far.
Either that, or maybe they just didn't feel like they didn't see anything that they liked. Maybe they want to save any kind of deals they want to make for the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty locked. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Robbie. Finish up.
Just the Eastern Conference is pretty locked up at this point. You know what I mean? Like, they're technically still on the hunt, but not really. Like, talking about what, like, almost 20 points behind in the wild card. So, I think you just gotta allow like the seeds that you planted there in Detroit to continue to grow.
True. I mean, Detroit showed a little bit of something this year. I mean, sure, they may not make the playoffs, but they're showing. Oh, there we go. First goal of the game. Well, that doesn't really surprise me. But the point is that, the Red Wings showed something this year. Yeah, they're not going to make the playoffs, but you starting to see their rebuild is starting to pay fruits, starting to pay some dividends for them as they were picking some top-tier players in the draft and getting some players in to help build up the team.
I think somebody kept Hart from getting across. I couldn't tell who that was.
Risto. A little bit. I mean, definitely clogged his path, but that's just a power move. The forward takes it from behind. Yeah. Shooting from, like almost on his back skate right there. When you don't get a body on the guy coming from behind the net. Velino. Joe Veleno.
Yeah,
All right then. So
I do like Giovanni Smith and oh yeah. I mean that's a tough goal because your own defenseman is getting in your way on that one, and
Chris, good job, Risto. Interference on your own goalie.
it looked like he was trying to get the hit.
I'm waiting for Ryan Swoop to swoop in here and tell me he told me so. I'm gonna forever defend Risto, even though there are some knucklehead plays like that. But
well, it looked like he just tried to get the edge on Giovanni Smith there, but Giovanni was able to slip away, and that caused a little bit of an unbalance on Risto's play, and unfortunately wound up bumping into Hart, which kept him from getting across.
I'm not surprised. I mean, the Red Wings have the kind of players that are good skaters. They can be slippery when they want to be. So, that doesn't surprise me they were able to do that.
Especially a guy like Giovanni Smith, because he's not very well known.
Yeah. One of the 50 million Smiths that are currently running around in the NHL. But anyway, Tom Hedrick saying, what happened to the Knights? They came down to earth and they splatted on the pavement.
They've had on the special teams.
Hayes had a nice shot there.
That's true.
Hayes been playing well. I think he's finally feeling close to 100%, the most he has all season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good opportunity there. It looked like Atkinson tried to jump in front of who was that? Nedeljkovic in net today for Detroit.
I should know this. That's so bad that I don't.
I wasn't paying attention to the lineup, so I didn't see who was in net.
Usually I'm up on it when this team's competitive, but that's no excuse. We do a hockey show here.
Dylan saying Red Wings said they were listening to offers on Larkin and Bertuzzi at the deadline. As a Flames fan, I would have given the farm for them. I could understand that. And if they were,
fan, yes.
I mean, if they were listening to offers on Larkin and Bertuzzi, maybe they're not as invested in this team as I thought. But okay.
Well, I mean, if you're going to get a haul for that, because you're going to get a haul for Larkin or Bertuzzi, you're going to get a great return of upper draft picks, top prospects, and NHL ready players. So
I get that. It's just it's.
Will a move like that set them back? Maybe.
It's just
guys have done such a great job with Detroit.
I get it. It's just interesting that you would trade someone like that you drafted and you were so high on for so long, this early on into his tenure. I mean, I know Larkin's been around for a little bit. Bertuzzi's been around for a tiny bit too, but still, it's like, whoa, that's a big move right there for a player that's been rather good. And okay, so Rob confirmed it. It's Nedeljkovic in it.
Larkin been carrying my dynasty team since he came into the league.
I will say this though, like I can understand moving a piece like that because you're trying to take that next step. If you feel like you've gone stagnant with what you have right now, maybe moving a guy like Dylan Larkin or Ty Bertuzzi is what you need to set a spark to really get to that next level. Because Detroit's not far off.
No,
Detroit's
they're not.
Another year or two out from being a playoff team again.
4-27-4 when given the game's first goal.
Whew.
Worst in the league. Nice.
Yeah.
At least we're number one at something.
Yeah, we're number one at being shit. Congratulations, guys. This is what you work 10 years to build towards. Let's see, Anthony's and Risto gets a contract extension and he's playing for Detroit. It's all right. Anthony stepped in Ryan's absence.
Well, we got a little baseball news right now.
Oh, so should we get that count started again, where we have breaking news for every sport but hockey now?
I've not seen the contract details on it, but Juan Soto and Josh Bell have signed new deals with the Washington Nationals.
Bell too. Okay.
Yep. So they got Juan Soto at a 17.1. So I'm assuming these are 1-year deals. The 17.1 mil for Juan Soto and $10 million for Josh Bell. So they got both of their big guns locked up now. Well, I should say locked up, but they got them they got him back in camp now.
That's incredibly cheap for Soto.
Yeah, I do too. But I don't think either team wanted to go into arbitration because I think that arbitration is never good for the teams. So I think they wanted to find a fair number for both, and they did that. Yeah, I think Soto's going to get paid when he leaves Washington, and I think it's going to be sooner than later.
Yeah.
I mean, you forget. I mean, because he came into the league so young, that's just a bridge little contract, depending on where that team goes from here. You know what I mean? Because Soto could still certainly be a part of that team. In terms of their rebuilding process right now.
Oh, of course. It's just a matter of does he want to be?
Yeah, true. Interesting. Ooh. Miami or Detroit. I could. Detroit's building something special right now. They got a lot of great young players.
Yeah, I was leaning towards Detroit myself. Miami, they just lost Jeter because his team is not going in the direction that he wanted it to. And I don't know. They have Christian Aguilar right now, so I don't know if they would. Well, I mean, you got the DH now in the National League, so I got to stop thinking of that aspect because you could probably put Aguilar at the DH and throw Juan Soto at first.
Yeah. What a bleeder in front of the Flyers net there. Jesus, scary.
Yeah. Chris
Sorry,
saying
not first. God damn it.
Chris saying
Josh Bell's first base, not Soto. Soto's in the outfield.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yep.
Chris was saying, we blamed last year on Niskanen and this year on Ellis. It's way more than that. Shit drafts, shit trades, shit player development. Oh, it definitely is. It's not just one veteran player retiring and another veteran player getting hurt. I mean, Provy, still no excuse. I don't give a shit that his defensive partner hasn't been there because of either injury or retirement. It's like, you were drafted high. You need to step the fuck up, motherfucker. Ain't no one going to give you free rides no more because you've been around this league long enough. You should know what to do by now. So it's just simple as that. It's like you're playing like shit. So if you want to go the way of Konechny, that road is wide open. I mean, if you want to go down that road, go right ahead. But don't expect any sympathy from any of us.
Oh, none of these guys get sympathy from me anymore because you know what? These guys are all professional athletes. They're getting paid millions of dollars to play a game. You get no sympathy from me. I don't feel bad for you if you have a bad game. You still made a hell of a lot more in a game than I've probably made in a month.
Let's see. Anthony's saying, did I just see Morgan Frost almost score for Detroit? And Troy's saying, but at least the Flyers didn't draft Moniak's bum ass.
Yeah, but they did draft Nolan Patrick's bum ass.
Yeah. Well, goal scored by Detroit.
Me and Jesse on the same page. I love it.
Verona screen. Yeah. I couldn't even see Carter Hart there.
Yeah, you're right. He probably didn't even. He obviously didn't see it. Well, I mean, I had a feeling this could get ugly. It may very well. No. Yeah, that floated right over him.
Bad turnover there from Risto. He's having a horrible game.
Yep, a real bad first period for him right now. Hopefully this comes in where he just starts trucking motherfuckers in the second period. Like, all right.
Yeah, he just lost control of the puck there. And, yeah, there was a lot of bodies in front. Pre-Suter was there. I saw Risto in there. I can't see who that other one, Sanheim, was in there. You can't save a puck when you don't see it.
Yeah, nope. Verona just kind of floated that out there like a la Rookie of the Year.
Just let it float.
It's the fourth goal of the season for Jacob Verona. And let's see. Chris said, no, they drafted German, Rupstov, Patrick, and O'Brien.
Betty says still out on Jay O'Brien.
Yeah, we haven't really seen anything of him, to be honest with you. But Patrick and Rupstov, yeah, we could definitely agree on that one. Ripstop was shit from the moment we got him, actually, to be honest with you.
He's just shady from his whole story of trying to get back from Russia. I'm glad that was a value to the Flyers for people thinking, wow, they're giving up G and other players. I think that does more. It's addition by subtraction right there.
Yeah. Benny's Day saying Bristow is shit. Anthony saying, does the Sixers play at least? The Sixers play defense and offense. I don't know if the Sixers are playing tonight, honestly. Jesse saying Red Wings jerseys are always so clean.
Really are. That's why they won the March Madness bracket that we had last week. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. Wasn't it Detroit?
Yeah, beat my damn Ducks.
I'll be honest with you guys. I've never been a fan of the Red Wings jerseys. I just always thought they're bland. They're bland as shit. It's like
you should have been on the show then.
No, but I'm just giving my opinion of the Red Wings jersey. I'm not saying I have to agree with the result. I respect the result. I just don't agree with it.
How dare you take a show off and have fun? How dare you, Matthew? How dare you?
Well, listen, I went and saw the Batman film, which, I mean, honestly, it was solid. Nothing crazy. It was solid. But anyway.
Sure, I was about to say, you say something, I'm jumping through the screen. I haven't watched it yet. I will smack you right in the mouth.
I wasn't going to spoil it. I wasn't going to ruin it for you.
Just saying.
I kept it in mind. I knew I had a fellow Batman fan sitting in here. Actually, Rob's also. He's seen plenty of the Batman films. He likes them as well.
You don't mind.
I'm going to ruin it.
I've had a day. I will come through the screen and I'll give you a fresh one.
You're gonna cut me. You would have cut me.
Hey, you. I give you a fresh one.
Keep the pin pan strong.
Ain't got nothing to do with the pin pan. Have you ever seen Analyze This?
No, I got you.
It's Billy Crystal's character, the therapy teacher. Hey, I'll give you a fresh one. You want a fresh one?
Every day.
Oh yeah. I was going to bust your balls a little bit too. I was going to say, well, Maddie, you should have been here last week. Otherwise, you can keep your opinion to yourself.
No. You see, I'm gonna be that asshole who I'm gonna be the asshole tonight.
You're late.
Basically, at the end of the day, doesn't vote at the election, but still gives his opinion on the election when he shouldn't. I'll be that guy tonight, where it's like, yeah, I didn't vote, and you know what? I'm still gonna give my opinion.
Nobody cares. You're late.
Rock and sock of robot time.
Let's see here. Renee Cruz. What's up, Renee? She's saying Giroux's gone like Tocchet, Fedotenko, Gagne, Brendan Moore, Williams, Carter, Richards, and Coach Berube, all winning Lord Stanley's Cups elsewhere. The hoist the cup, Claude, my forever favorite team captain. Yeah, I mean,
I hope he does.
I hope he does too. It's again, look at the organization. It's their fault. Actually, that whole list is their fault, to be completely honest with you, for failing. Chris saying, in honor of the death of our owner, Ron Hextall, Hextall drafts a freaking Russian. And Benny Station saying, the voting was rigged. How many dead people voted? Probably a few. I'm going to assume a lot of dead people voted on that one. Detroit's an old team. So, I mean, they've got a lot of dead fans. So...
Oh, I see what he was saying. I got really confused. I'm like, wait. When did we get political?
Very political here.
In March in the NHL, Risto's topping that list. Just for all those Risto haters out there. I know he's having a horrible game, but
Detroit grabs a 2-0 lead, and here comes Don. Ow!
Here he comes.
So now he wants to speak. Yeah. Now he wants to speak. Don, you're no better than Clinky. You only show up when your team's winning. But when your team's losing, God forbid you ever say anything. No, I'm just joking.
Sweetness.
I had a nice conversation with him yesterday.
I'm sure. And Renee also goes on to say, no less than a natural hat trick, 4 block shots, 3 assists, and a fight for Owen Tippett, or else us Flyers fans will have his head tonight. Whew. That's a lot on Owen Tippett right from the very beginning, but we did just trade away her favorite captain in Flyers history for Owen Tippett, so I can kind of see where it's coming from.
That's a 6
on the ice right now.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. It may not have been a lot back in the 90s and the 80s, but it's a lot today. Anthony's saying the Flyers are the new Phoenix Coyotes. No. We're the new Buffalo Sabres. Get it right. If you're going to do it, get it right.
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with that, the new Buffalo Sabres, because at least, those teams can actually sell out their arena and not fall behind on bills and have to move to a college to play National Hockey League games. So,
The Buffalo, though, that does – I mean, and to be fair, besides the Bills, which, are good. Other than that, it's like you got nothing else. So
I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of empty seats in the Fucker.
Yeah. The well fucker. The well fucker. That's what we'll call it from now on. It's no longer the Wells Fargo Center. It's called the well fucker. That's what it's called from now on.
Well, from what I understand, it's not people not wanting to go support the team. It's people not wanting to support Comcast. So,
oh yeah.
No. Yeah. Hey man, I was calling for people to do it. Hey, I'm proud of you. Save your money.
I just thought they were in the pavilion drinking their woes away.
Could be that too.
They absolutely could be doing that because that's a nice little setup over there now.
Yeah. Person saying, I'm still at work. Hope to catch the show soon. Well, Priz, hey, man, good luck for the rest of your shift, man. Hopefully you can join us for the rest of the game. Right now,
Hardest
Detroit's up
working man in
2-0.
Texas.
Yeah, hardest working man in the Lone Star State there.
Yeah,
And
you're not missing nothing. Up 2-0
Yeah.
Detroit is. And, we'll be talking all around the league trade deadline later, Priz, so hopefully you can catch us for that.
I already know his I'm sure Rob. We were blowing it up yesterday. My bad.
That's all right. I just snoozed you all. It's fine.
Me and him, we did not see eye to eye. I'll tell you that right now. Me and him did not see eye to eye on the Marc-Andre Fleury trade.
Yandle down. Over
Could he
nothing.
Could it be permanently down? I wouldn't be. Well, that I wonder if the fucker will retire this year. If the old fart will fucking retire this year and say like, "Oh yeah, I did my Iron Man streak," and you know how many people gave a shit about fuck all. Anyway,
No, Yandle, he'll sign back with the Coyotes and finish his career where he started.
oh, okay.
That'll be my prediction.
Hey, at least Yandle's trajectory will stay the same in terms of his career. Still shit. Renee saying, no.
That's his trend.
Pretty much.
From the start of his career.
Started in Phoenix, ends in Arizona.
Renee saying, no, just kidding. Owen Trippett is phenomenal, and in his first debut game, he almost scored 4 goals. The luck of the bounce of the puck. Yeah, that does have a lot to do with it.
Nice shot right off the post, too.
Don does had a lot of dead fans.
Well, he came at the wrong time.
Listen, Don. Red Wings have been around. Yeah. The Red Wings have been around. Penalty coming up on the Red Wings. But yeah, Don Red Wings have been around for since the Roaring 20s, man. There's a decent amount of fans that are in the graveyard right now. They rose up just to vote for the Red Wings jerseys last week, though. Still fans, even in the afterlife.
Oh, Provorov.
Yeah.
Anybody else probably would have scored there, but not Provy.
Well, Provy can't do anything right. I mean, so come on, man. At least not this year.
I don't think he had control. I think that puck rolled on him a little bit.
Yeah.
Person saying, I'm disappointed as fuck. Oh, we all are. Trust me.
I'm sorry, brother. I don't think you should be.
Renee's saying, so is Sean Couturier wearing the letter capital C? Not sure. Right now, I don't think anyone's positively sure on who the captain is. I think they're going to wait and see who they want to put the C on, honestly.
Yeah, I don't rush it. I let people step up and see who wants it, not because the one that deserves it isn't always the one that should have it, if that makes any sense. So, especially with a team that's probably not going to compete for a couple years, see what you have, see who steps up. Could it be Couturier? Yeah, and he might be the most deserving, but doesn't always necessarily mean that he's the guy that should be wearing it. So we'll see. Like I said, if I'm running that team, I'm not putting a captain on. I'm not putting C on anybody's sweater for at least a year.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I was going to say that definitely not this year. You know, you ride out the rest of the season as a tribute to Jay, and then next season, I would be fine if this team went with like 5 alternates.
Yeah,
with no captain. You know what I mean? We've seen the Sharks. We've seen numerous amount of teams around the league go without a captain for a few years until the right man steps up for the job. I mean, there's a possibility that man might not even be on this roster right now.
No, absolutely, dude. I was spot on, dude. Because you don't know that he could absolutely be on the AHL team right now. He could be an incoming free agent. He could be somebody you're drafting. Like you really don't know yet. So
yeah,
take the time, evaluate everybody, see who should wear it, and not just necessarily who deserves to wear it.
Yeah.
It seems like contradictory, but I feel like it makes sense. At least it makes sense in my head.
Well, it's the idea of, okay, you want the C, earn it. You're not going to get it handed to you simply because Giroux got traded.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm trying to go with it.
Yeah, I got you. And Renee's saying, yeah, we are the new Buffalo Sabres. Ha, lol. And then Anthony's saying, Yandel's going to the Kraken. Maybe. Dylan's got to say, gotta love how the Leafs didn't pull the trigger on a Hagel/Fleury deal.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. That would have put Toronto over the top. Apparently something happened. Those two are not friendly right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think ultimately the Maple Leafs has been a lot of talk, a lot of concern around the net. But I think their plan for this playoffs is to ride Jack Campbell once he comes back from injury.
Yeah, and I think they did a good job acquiring who they got at the trade deadline too, because I think they answered that pretty well, getting Mark Giordano.
Yep.
Some stability back there. And he grew up a Maple Leafs fan, so that's kind of cool that he's pretty much essentially could end his career potentially winning a Stanley Cup for his hometown team. So
is he going to do what Jonathan Toews did not Toews, John Tavares did and shoot the puck out of wide open net and hit the post? Because if that's the case and they wind up getting eliminated in the first round, just like Tavares, you really are a Maple Leaf.
I believe they call it the Tavares.
Yes. It's funny though, because Tavares is a great player, but he'll always be remembered until the Maple Leafs actually do something in the playoffs. He'll be remembered for that moment.
That's right. Dylan brings up a great point. Flames are without a captain right now, and they're a playoff team.
Yep.
I think they're a top team in the West. No, they're not the top team in the West, but they're up there.
Still, though, that is a good point. That's a very, very good point. And then, what a shock. Give Superman the C when it's time. He's going to need to recover from that head injury he suffered, actually, before he needs to think about doing anything else.
And you don't even put it on his sweater. You put it on his cape to say.
Nice.
Yes, absolutely.
Yo, Chucks, how you feeling, buddy? I know you took that trade a little hard. How you feeling, Chucks?
What's going on, dude? He said disagree to the poll. So, I don't think he agrees on that return.
Chucks, we're here for you, buddy. This is a therapy session for everyone.
It is. Let's see.
Our emotional peacock man kind of left, so it's kind of up to us now.
I mean, he tried. I give him credit, but there's only so much that a man of faith can do. But let's see here. Benny's Nation saying Captain Crutch has a nice ring to it.
I like Captain Crunch, personally.
I mean, Captain Crutch would be if Sam Moran was our captain, but But anyway.
Oh, man, I'm out.
And the Flyers did not score on that power play. That should probably not surprise a single person.
I mean, it was 30 for 30, a 30th ranked penalty kill. You thought maybe they'd have a little chance, but the entries just continue to be poor, and I don't see them improving anytime this season.
Yeah. But in case anybody was wondering why the Red Wings aren't competitive, I think that 30 on the penalty kill will probably give you a good idea of why the Red Wings aren't playing in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, agreed, Jesse. I think that's what you do. I mean, I want to say Kevin Hayes because he could, but I just don't think he's vocal enough. He's too much of like the class clown, keeping the boys loose in the locker room, But I'm just saying, based on experience or whatever, and just taking on that veteran role, he's going to be with this team for a while. I thought that'd be an option. I mean, Sean Couturier is a logical. Nomination too by Renee, but again, he's really kind of a soft-spoken guy, I mean, and you could say what you want about G, but he was a yapper. He was yapping consistently to the refs from the warm-up skate all the way to the final whistle.
Yeah.
Final horn, I should say.
No, and you do need your captain to be vocal, or at least be that guy in the locker room that, kind of gets everybody in that feeling of, hey, we still got this, boys. You need that kind of guy. And when you don't have someone stepping up on that role, things get tough real fast. But Dylan saying, comes with a good coach. Sutter wants them to earn it. Plus, Tkachuk hasn't re-signed, as he's probably the top candidate. So talking about the Flames captain situation there. Chuck's still saying, still surreal that G is gone. I know. It is still surreal. It's going to be weird when the playoffs roll around, since I don't think the Panthers play the Flyers for the rest of the year. I think our season series with them is done. So since we won't see G.
I'll double check that. But what was interesting too is that they made this deal. I believe the last game the Panthers played was Friday, and I don't think they play till Thursday. So it was the ultimate time for them to make deals to bring these guys in and get them, affluent to the system.
Yeah,
you're spot on. Because I was thinking about that too. Because after they announced who G was playing with, I was like, all right, let me take a look. Maybe I'll do my live reaction to the Panthers game tonight. I'm like, all right, they're not playing tonight. Okay, they're not playing tomorrow night. They're not playing that night. I'm like, when the hell do they play again? Yeah, they don't play again until Thursday, so they've got a little ways.
Let's see here. Jesse was saying Captain Crackhead Coots, but he never wears his fake teeth.
Yep, done with the season series with the Panthers.
All right, then. So since we won't be seeing the Panthers for the rest of the year, like I said, it's going to be weird when the playoffs roll around, seeing Giroux in that Florida jersey wearing orange and light goldish, reddish color, and the red color that they got going on there, those ugly-ass Panthers jerseys that they have. Still say they should have kept the old ones. But anyway, Prism saying Coots over Hayes, Lawton over both. Really wants Lawton to be captain, but I can't be sure on that.
It's all right. We got a second notion for Lawton as a captain.
Damn. And Anthony
our guy Ted is saying, do you guys get to talk of making Lawton the captain?
Oh yeah, I just see it down there.
I'd give him an A for sure. I don't know if I'd give him the C.
I mean, if he does wind up wearing the C, then he must be like a freaking Keith Primo. May not always show up on the score, but scores when you really need the goal and can get people fucking fired up to where they're willing to bash someone's fucking head in. So, because that's pretty much what Primo used to do. And hey, I'm all for it because I'd love to have a captain like that again. That was fun. Not a knock on Giroux though. Giroux was great, but still, there was something special with Primo.
Yeah. I kind of like, I think what this team could use in terms of the captain, I mean, not only the leadership and the voice in the locker room, but like just a pure goal scorer. You know what I mean? A guy that can put up points, like whether that be a guy that's in this organization already, like a Noah Cates. You know what I mean? And be like a backbone where the brothers are the the backbone of this team. Tether coming in, and he's the leader coming in. He brings that strong, prolific goal scoring game. Bobby Brink, we talked about earlier in the show, or if it's a draft pick that hasn't been selected yet, Shane Wright.
You gotta
if the
check.
Flyers play their cards right, and they're heading down. It seems like if they play their cards right, they can wind up with Connor Bedard next year.
Fine
And
with
I
that.
think I would rather have Connor Bedard
Agreed.
over Shane Wright.
Agreed.
But Rob, you might want to get a lozenge for those allergies popping up there, though. Just saying.
Got some water. I'm good. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Need clear. Always got to have that clear throat. Ted saying on that with Captain for Lawton. Benny's Nation saying there should be some excitement with Coots and Ellis back next year. Injuries did play a huge factor this year.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Injuries did have their part to play in it. So there is that.
Yeah, you get pieces back like that. That's why, the rebuilding talk needs to be cool. I love how, like an educated guy for the Flyers, like Jordan Hall, comes out and I think he used retool like 8 times in his most recent article, including in the title. You know what I mean? Like, there's a point of emphasis there that there's a lot of talent, and our beloved member here, Brian Daly's been singing this tune since day one about this team, that there's a lot of answers that are already with this organization.
Mm-hmm. There are. We already have a bunch of the answers. It's just you got to find a few more pieces here. You got to change things up. I mean, the nucleus was good for a while. Now you just gotta find out what you have now, because they have the talent. It's the same thing with Anaheim. Anaheim's in a similar situation. They just traded off a bunch of pieces, and the one thing that they didn't do, and it's the one thing that the Flyers didn't do, they didn't trade any of their young talent. So they kept whatever this young nucleus could be for the Flyers intact. And that's the important part to move forward, because now you see what you have in Bobby Brink, Tyson Forrester, Zayd Wisdom, Zamula, whoever, Kate, Noah, and whoever. It doesn't matter. See what you have with your young guys.
It's interesting, Brian.
Let them play.
They moved Forrester from the Phantoms to play in the OHL with Zayd, and I kind of like that. Let them build up some chemistry.
Well, weren't they on the same line with the Phantoms too?
No. Zayd is always he's been all in the Ontario League all year. But Forrester, around the injury, has been with the Phantoms, but he's been loaned out to what is the OHL team? Blasted.
For
Flyers, yeah.
the Phantoms?
No. The OHL junior club that Zayd plays for.
Oh, I couldn't tell you that much.
Oh, yeah, Kingston's. Yeah, Kingston. The front. What is that? Front and
Necks.
But I mean, yeah, Zayd was on Lehigh previous season, 2021. He played 28 games there, but all this season he's been playing in the OHL. So get Forrester with him there, build some chemistry.
Yeah, I mean that's always a great thing, is creating chemistry with young guys, getting guys comfortable playing with each other. So that sounds terrible coming out of my mouth the way it did. But you know what I mean. Moving forward for this team, though, it's not going to be a bad idea to start plugging some young guys in and seeing what you have, because now you have TK, who's considered a vet. You have Provorov, who's a vet. You have Kevin Hayes as a vet. You have a couple other guys in there. Let some guys walk. The guys that you can be like, okay, well, we weren't going to get anything in a trade for him anyway. We can let him walk.
TK.
And obviously, stop it. And start plugging in the young guys. See, that's the important part here moving forward. And that's what Anaheim has been doing, is putting your young guys in and seeing what you have. And now, one of Anaheim's young guys is a 30-goal scorer for the first time in his career, and he's still relatively young. So let's
Oh,
Just see it. Let's go. Come on.
look
It's
at
time.
what we got here. Shane Wright played for the Don Mills Flyers in under 16 league. Yeah. Already used to playing for the Flyers. Let's go.
You know what's funny? I actually think their jerseys are kind of similar.
Nice.
Don
All
Mills, right? Is
right.
that what you said? The Don Mills Flyers?
Yeah.
All right, so we are at the end of the first period. It was 2-0 Red Wings with goals coming from Velino and Vrana. 2 Vs for the Red Wings there on 2 goals. And now we head to our first intermission, which is brought to you by All Campus, who are giving off 20% off of everything in their store, including hats, shirts, and team cornhole sets for their subscribers. I don't think they're back open just yet, but hey, spring and summer are almost here, so they'll be reopening very, very soon. Nice.
Yeah,
They
they're
are
very similar.
very
Orange
similar.
and black.
nice.
They got the logo.
Nice. But
Little preview of Shane Wright in a Flyers uniform.
there you go. Love it. But yeah, so
Hooray!
check out All Campus and give John a shout. He does the rant booth as well, so check that out. And like we said, give him a shout. He's a great guy. Does a lot for everything here at A2D Radio. And does
Yeah! There's a shout.
All right.
Go jump on the rant booth too. You can jump on with John and Rob Brinkman, who also does the Sports Hounds on Monday. So go down to OC, go get some stuff at All Campus, and jump in on the rant booth and talk some sports with Brinks and John Coyle there.
Absolutely.
It's the sweetness.
It's a sweet one.
Oh, that's
I always thought that dude looked like Prince. But anyway, all right. So on to the second period, ladies and gentlemen, or not the first intermission. And we were going to be talking about the Giroux trade, but we already talked about that pretty much in a pregame. So let's talk about what else the Flyers did in the trade deadline. Obviously, the Flyers offloaded 2 other players. The first one to mention would be Brassard, who got brought up a little bit earlier on. The Flyers got a 4th-round pick for Brassard. He now is on his 10th team in his NHL career, playing for the Edmonton Oilers. And that'll be, I think that was a solid return for him, honestly. I mean, it wasn't exactly like you were going to get much for Brassard anyway. So the fact that we got a 4th-round pick out of it, I'll take it, honestly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we can all agree on that, right?
Oh, absolutely. They won that trade easily. I don't know what they were trying to do. Apparently, Edmonton desperately was trying to add a little bit of depth at center and obviously try and help the power play out a little bit because their power play's been struggling too pretty mightily. And bringing a guy like Brassard for a 4th who could have easily gone for a 6th. Yeah, that's a win. Absolutely.
And on top of that as well, Flyers got rid of Justin Braun, traded off to the New York Rangers. What did you guys feel about the return for Braun?
Again, solid, spot on. I mean, exactly what you were looking for.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a little crazy for thinking this, but I think you probably could have gotten another pick out of that for Justin Braun. Because there was a lot of teams looking for defensemen, and a lot of teams were pretty much overselling or overpaying for necessary pieces, and the Rangers needed a steady defenseman, and you probably could have gotten him for the 3rd-round pick and maybe a 6th-round pick. Maybe not in the same year, but I think you could have probably gotten another late-round pick for Justin Braun. But overall, I'm happy with the deal. I think you got more than what he was worth, for sure, getting a 3rd for him, but could they have gotten a little bit more? I think they could have, but overall, like I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a shitty deal because it's not. It's not. It's a great deal for the Flyers, and like I said, they got a high pick for Justin Braun back, which I felt they would have probably gotten a 5th easily.
I mean,
you get the 3rd for a 35-year-old defenseman. I mean, if you're getting multiple picks, they're both going to be late, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that probably could have brought the deal down a little bit too, but I would have at least tried and said like, "Hey, listen, you want to throw another pick in there? I mean, he's 35. You really need him. We have other people calling in for him. We want to give him to you. Throw another pick in there." That would have just been me, though.
Well, that would assume that. I mean, Brian, you have common sense. Fletcher doesn't. So
That's debatable, though. That's debatable, though.
As well as the need of the Rangers for another defenseman. That's debatable too. Like, how bad did they really need Justin Braun?
Well, you have Braden Schneider, who's playing okay, but he's still a rookie. And then Trouba, obviously, he's a really good defenseman. Keandre Miller is a really good defenseman. Again, still young. Like, that's kind of why I said that they needed to go out and get a steady guy, which obviously Justin Braun is because there is a lot of youth back there. So going into the NHL playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, you're going to need a guy with the experience, and obviously that's Justin Braun.
And even Adam Fox himself is 24 years old. So yeah, I get your point. A little veteran leadership in the playoffs never hurt no one.
Exactly.
Yep. Renee saying Justin gone again. I followed him in San Jose and Philly, and now he's gone again too. Ouch, hurts. True. I mean, hey, he played well in San Jose, and then he got traded. Then was he traded or was he signed? I forget. But then he comes to Philly, so he's one of the other many players that have shared both the teal and the orange for the Sharks and for the Flyers. Now he gets to wear the red, white, and blue of the blue shirts. I don't know if, I don't really know how I feel about that. But anyway, Renee will say, we should have gotten an extra player for Claude Giroux. We got Jip there.
I don't know about all that, but I do know that either the next Flyers game in general, certainly the next Flyers game where Florida comes into town, I feel like I'm going to be like Will Ferrell and old school and be like, "You're my boy, G," instead of Blue,
I'm going to be Ron Burgundy in that phone booth after Baxter gets punted. I'm in a glass case of emotions. I'm already in that glass case of emotions. Look at this. Come on. Yeah. I miss him already.
Yeah, we all do. Trust me. This is a day of mourning, really. And
I got emotional over his tweet. He finally addressed he's gonna put something together. Obviously, he's on the move right now. But on Twitter, gave a little shout out to the fans, and always I'll bring up the actual tweet here in a little bit. But I just that made me a little sad. Seeing him come out you just show how much Philadelphia meant to him.
Yeah. Because he meant so much to us. The one constant in the sea of bullshit was Claude Giroux, and there was a nice heavy dose of bullshit. But yet the one constant was always Claude Giroux. I don't know what to do now. Now it's just bullshit.
I mean, it really is weird not seeing him in the lineup, and it was really weird seeing him not in the lineup in Ottawa, and it was really weird not seeing him in the lineup against the Islanders, which, you see 28 for a very long time, and now it's not there. It's just weird, and somebody else is probably going to wear 28.
Yeah.
Until they put him up in the rafters, because let's be real, boys, if he never comes back to Philly, he signs in one day and retires a Flyer, his 28 is going to be in the rafters.
Oh,
no one's going to wear 28
absolutely.
after him.
Absolutely. I mean, and if anyone wants to argue whether he's a Hall of Famer for the Flyers or not, I would then like to point you to his stats, because his stats say otherwise.
I mean, he's top 3 in a lot of categories for the Flyers over in all time. So,
right. Here's his tweet. I plan to curate a formal goodbye, but for now, I wanted to acknowledge this change. Philly will always be a major part of me and my family. This picture seemed fitting. Thank you for absolutely everything. And I'll show the picture up, but he still has Gotta see it's black and white too. The picture from the 1000th game with his son there. I believe that's Gavin. But yeah, I mean, he has even he still has Flyers 28 on his Twitter. I mean, hockey players are a little less on top of that. They give a fuck about social media, really. But I just thought that was nice that he came out and just had a moment just to thank the fans and how it's like anybody that's like saying he purposely screwed over this team. You're just trying to get clicks. You're just trying to get comments firing back at you because that's bullshit.
Yeah. This team and this organization, this city, the community, it all meant everything to him. He's where he spent his entire career. He essentially grew up in Philly.
Yeah.
He was born and raised in Canada, but he grew up in Philly.
Yeah.
He became a man in Philly. You don't just brush that off. Like, if you sat there and said that he wasn't emotional about any of this or anything, look at the game where they celebrated him. His last game as a Flyer.
Yeah.
Against Nashville. Look at his face. You could tell it's not what he wanted.
Yeah. I mean, it's not what any of us wanted. All of us wanted to see Giroux, have a great team around him and lead the way for the Flyers to have a run to the Cup. But again, the organization behind it just fucked it up every which way they could. And Giroux just did the best he could with what he had.
Yeah.
There's only so much one man can do.
And consider, Jesse, I mean, yes, you see a flurry of activity around the trade deadline, but you also see this, activity during this offseason where you can maybe work some deals. You know what I mean? Maybe get rid of some more veterans on this team, allow for more of the youth to come in.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you look at the whole situation, it was going to happen, when it was being rumored and everything, and you're just waiting for it, and once it happened, you kind of go through the stages of a breakup. You go through denial, then you go through acceptance, then you now go through the sorrowful part. But at the end of the day, you gotta pick yourself up and keep going. And that's kind of what the Flyers now have to do, and that's what we have to do, albeit though right now we're now going to a more abusive relationship with this shitty organization that we have. But, it is what it is. You got to move on all the same.
Yep. Back to live game action here, minute into the second period.
And with that, let's see, second period brought to you by okay, then second period was all campus, so we took care of that. All right, then, so all campus bringing us the second period, so we're good there. Still, check out Rant Booth and go support John over down there in Ocean City.
All campus always bears another mentioning.
Of course.
Fuck.
Yeah, the Red Wings just got another one. Wow, this game's getting ugly.
Time to get some booze, boys. I'll be back.
Meanwhile, we got John here saying, fuck Giroux, I'm glad the most overrated captain is gone. Again, point you towards his stats. I don't necessarily agree with you on that one, John.
Lucas Raymond. Falling down, too. Wow. John, my boy. It's the only thing that we disagree on, pal. That's the only thing that you and I disagree on is Giroux here. But, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Chris is saying, Igor getting worked over by the Devils. Well, that's good news. That's good news. Anytime Rangers is having a bad night, that's always nice to hear. I mean, I would also like to see the Devils have a bad night, too, if they both can lose. Try to say, we didn't get fleeced with this trade. Giroux only would accept a Florida, which is true. He only wanted to accept the deal from Florida. So you get what you get when you got one trading partner at the end of the day. And the GM of Florida wasn't going to, give everything away since he knew he had no competition. It's just smart GMing at the end of the day. Nothing wrong with it.
Ew, I don't like that comparison, John, because
Bobby,
Well, I shouldn't necessarily say that because Bobby Bray was a really good offensive player. I couldn't stand him defensively. He was one of the most laziest players in right field.
Flyers just
This
scored.
guy never ever fielded a ground ball without jogging to it first. If he couldn't get to it running, he was letting it fall.
And
this line's on fire.
And yeah, Joel Farabee getting himself a nice goal. Beautiful little passing play here. Hayes setting him up for that. Started by Konechny and leading to Farabee tapping it home right here. Nice little give and go. You gotta love that. Gotta love it.
Johnny, I still love you, buddy. Don't worry.
He would score a ton of goals when we were down 5-1 with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, but that's not just on Giroux though. That's on the 11 other guys out on the ice there with him too. So if they're down 5-1, it's not all on G. I mean, it's his job to get him amped up and get him going, but I still think they never gave him the support that he absolutely needed. And we were talking about this the other day, bud. They never properly gave him the weapons, and when he finally got it, when he got Jaromir Jagr, he had a career year. He was the only other Flyer since Eric Lindros to break 100 points in the season.
And then on top of that too, whose fault is it that they never put a team around him? It's not G's fault. It's the organization's fault. That's why I said before, you want to blame anyone for the Flyers' shortcomings? It's not Giroux. It's this shit organization behind the Flyers who have never done a goddamn thing to try and fix this team except twiddle their dick for a whole goddamn decade.
Oh my.
Yo, was that like a 3-0? That fair? I know I'm a little late to the party here, but Farabee there with the tap in.
I think it wound up being like a 2-on-1, and the one defender led to went towards, I think it was Hazy.
Gotcha.
And left Farabee wide open.
Yeah, drew him in. But that line, I'm telling you, that line continues to buzz.
Yeah. It's nice to see a turnover go for us for a change, right? Since it always goes the other way. And Ted saying, do you guys think it was a dick move for G only to go to Florida? No.
That's why. I mean, that's why you're a good player. You're an elite player in this league. You command a contract with a no movement clause. It's for that purpose. That's like think about it. Your job. If your job was granting you a luxury, and then on your way out, you're like, oh, I know I worked for that, but you can keep my 401k. Like, come on. You know what I mean? That's what you work for. I mean, like that. And Teddy, I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the show, but that's why I said, you had a conversation with Chuck about the possibility of coming back to the Flyers and re-signing, and they're like, no, it's time for us to move on. That's what's best for you. That's what's best for this organization. You know what I mean? Because you bring G back in, and as much as I've touted that, and a lot of other people touted that as a possibility, where you get what you can get for him, and then you double up by getting them back. How is that moving on? How is that, rebuilding this organization? It's not. You know what I mean? It's at that point, it's again just the light retools, and you'll see more of the same bullshit. So I'm not faulting Chuck for. I don't fault either party for it, honestly.
No, I mean I don't really fault him either. Again, do I think they could have gotten more? Yeah, but I'm also the more I'm thinking about it, Florida just gave up a shit ton to get. They didn't get much back in the Frank Vertrano deal. Then they gave up a nice little hole to get Ben Sherratt. So, I mean, how much do they really have left to really offer? I mean, would I've liked an extra draft pick in there? If they threw an extra draft pick in there, I would have been absolutely fine with this deal. Like maybe like 2/3 or a first, a second, and a third, or something like a fourth or whatever. But an extra pick in there, I just feel like that they gave up too much and didn't get back enough. But I mean, do I think it was a dick move on G's part? No. That's like Robbie was just saying. That's the point of the no movement. That's the benefit for the player. They get to choose where they want to go.
Yeah.
And it's up to the GM to get the most out of that deal.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, players having their say at the end of the day, that's an understandable agreement when you sign that contract, and that's something that you understand. It's like, hey, listen, he determines his future. The team does not. And that's just how it is. That's the game you play. Now, obviously, when we signed Giroux to that contract, we could have never imagined it was going to come to this. So it's like, it is what it is, at this point. So it's, I'm not
honestly,
really.
If I'm the Flyers, G's the last guy I move. I mean, if you look at some of these other rebuilding teams, they're holding on to their captain, until the changing of the guard is right. And I always bring it up, but it's the best example because they're getting ready to come out of the rebuild is Anaheim. They've held on to Getzlaf this long. He's the captain. He's a guy. He's got a bunch of knowledge and a bunch of respect from throughout the league that they want him to be around for the young guys to help breed them. Wow, I could have chosen a better term for that, but anyway, you keep G maybe for that reason, but I mean, I get the move for. Look, I get the move for moving Giroux because you're probably going to get more for him than you are anybody else on this roster right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see.
I mean, the bad move, the dick move would be to not trade G at all and then have him walk at the end of the season and you get nothing.
Yeah.
Which was a distinct possibility.
It was. John's saying, if we re-sign him in the offseason, I'm done being a Flyers fan and will not watch Flyers hockey at all next year. Well, you don't need to worry about that because from what Rob was saying, that's pretty much not happening.
Yep, agreed. And I wouldn't blame you, John. I mean, we don't see eye to eye much like you and Bry there on G, but I would be with you, though, on that because that would be more of the same bullshit. The team needs to be reconfigured. And because it's the definition of insanity. So,
yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
And listen, I love Giroux, and I will defend Giroux. I'll die on that hill. I do not agree with John. I do not agree with Anthony. I don't agree with anyone who believes that G was not a great player. But I can say this: it's time to move on. You can't move on when you're bringing back the former captain. You're not moving on then. It's like it's time to move on. It's time to move on. The era is over. It was not the greatest era in Flyers history, but it is what it is. It's over. Time to move on to other things.
Now, if you want to talk about 3 or 4 years down the road, and G's pushing towards retirement and he wants to come back and he's just another, comes back like not even an A on his sweater. Come back just to finish his year as a Flyer, finish his career as a Flyer. That I would be okay with, but at least for the short term, I'm pretty much on board with you there, Matty.
Yeah, Johnny, they cleared a lot of cap space yesterday. I think they said they were up to what 12 in cap space, 12 million now.
Yeah,
and that's obviously going to increase as the offseason approaches because then whatever the salary that the Flyers retained on Giroux's deal is off the book and now goes permanently to, it's the end of his contract anyway, so it's not going to matter. So that's an extra $4 million going onto the salary cap. And then any other guys they decide to let walk. Yandel's, what was it, 1.5?
I don't even think it was in the millions. Like I think it was one of the thousands of the deals. And then also Brassard's salary will come off the books after the offseason.
Did they retain any of Brassard's contract?
I think about 40% of it, because the Oilers are right up at the cap ceiling. So in order for the deal to go through, the Flyers had to retain some of the salary.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you're depending on who they resign. Idealistically, you're probably looking at $15 million in cap space for them in free agency.
Gotcha. Renee saying Claude spent and dedicated his whole career here ever since rookie season. He deserves to win his Lord Stanley Cup right now this year. That'd be nice to see. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's with the Panthers. He's throwing his lot in with them. We'll see if it works out. The Panthers have not made it out of the first round since the 1 year they went to the Stanley Cup Finals. But to be fair, they haven't had a really great team like the one they've got now during that period of time. Hell, even the team that went to the Stanley Cup Finals, this team is better than that one. So Anyway, Anthony's saying Giroux was like Mikkel Renberg of the Flyers. He would score when we were up big or down big once in a while. He has a game-winning goal. I mean, you're not going to score every single game. You know, that's crazy to assume that. That's just my
Again, look at the franchise stats.
Yeah. I mean, Lindros didn't score in every single game he played in. He scored in a good amount, but not everyone.
He's got
You boys, no. You boys remember the video, the tribute video?
Oh, sorry, Rob. Flyers just scored.
Hey, they scored, but I'll make this quick.
Go ahead.
One consistent word that all the people that were interviewed for that video said: clutch. So don't give me this nonsense.
Yeah. And then
I get it. The stats don't always tell the whole story, but come on, he's top 3 in a lot of the stats in franchise history. You know, he's floating up there with Bill Barber and Bobby Clark in all-time points. I think he's got more points than Eric Lindros ever had in his career. Not even just with the Flyers, with his entire career.
Nice.
So come on, man. Like,
that's the Lindblom. That's the Lindblom that we've been waiting for.
That's a right there.
Beautiful play. Good sauce pass, and then that led to the goal by Oscar Lindblom.
Who's got that sauce?
Speed and the strength.
I think that was TK. I don't know what it is. See, this is why I call out TK. That's why I talk shit on TK. He performs well. See? He's got 30 assists, and that's because we've been talking shit about him all fucking year. That's what we need to do. We need to keep talking shit on Travis Konechny so that he proves us wrong. That's how we do it. Wish his goals were more.
Put some sauce on it. That's an A1 pass.
Fine wine.
Ted said, I know you guys like wrestling too. Doesn't Yao look just like Nick Gage from GCW?
Yeah.
He looks like Nick Gage, but like not as threatening. Like Nick Gage looks like he will kill you.
TK is a douche, Johnny. See what I mean? We'll agree on most everything else.
Okay, yeah, I will agree with him on that one. Yes,
he's a douche. But I mean, you can sit there and say that he's quiet in the playoffs, but when the playoffs come, how many other guys on the roster are quiet too? TK included. TK, Coots. You know, it comes back to not necessarily just Giroux. It comes back to this organization, coaching styles, drive, heart. I mean, there have been seasons where guys who loved Wayne Simmons there have been times where Wayne Simmons has been quiet, and there's times where Scott Hartnell has been quiet, and you know, the only one who is really consistent in the playoffs for the Flyers, ever wearing orange and black, wore number 48, and that's Danny Briere.
Because he was,
there's, and I know the most recently that he was probably the most quiet was G, but again, let's keep in mind here, hockey isn't always about putting points on the board, you know, goals scored, setting plays up, whatever. There's a lot more to it. So, you know, it's you know, maybe putting up a big hit or, you know, winning puck battles, just getting in dirty areas, you know, defending your teammates, stuff like that. Like that's stuff that he's always done. He may not have always found it. He may not have always found the back of the net, but in some way, shape, or form. And I think I told you this the other day, man. Is he's always doing something good.
When John says
you're right. You're spot on there, Johnny. You absolutely are.
Well, you are going to get blame. I mean, that's going to happen anyway. You know, and you're right on that. You know, any team's going to get that blame.
I don't think he never dodged that blame.
No,
he's always accepted it. He's always took accountability for you know, the team not playing well enough or whatever.
But he never threw anybody specific under the bus. He
threw himself under the bus more.
Yeah,
so that's more blame to himself that maybe was warranted.
And you'll see that with hockey though. Like that doesn't matter if you're wearing a C and A or you're not wearing anything at all. It's always we, us, we, us. It's never I, me, they should. You know, it's always we need to step up. We need to put ourselves in better position. We need to win the puck battles. You know, it's.
And then Dylan say, in the playoffs, it's not always about the superstars. It's about the bottom six. Very good point. And the Flyers have not always had the best structured teams going into their playoff runs. And Ted said, we never won a series with Simmons. That is incorrect. We actually did. It was 2012. He was on the team at that time. But your point is still valid in the sense of after 2012, what did the Flyers do? About fuck all. And hell, in 2012, they weren't expected to lose to the Devils, and they did. So, yeah, your point's still very valid. And I still remember getting so mad at Simmons. He took that, I think it was the Capital Series. Or it was the Penguins. It was one of them. He took a shitty penalty at the worst possible time at the end of the game, and we had the game tied. And
they were about to go on a power play, and he took a freaking penalty because he tried to fight with Tom Wilson. I remember. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I will tell you this right now. I probably would have gotten thrown out of the arena. I would have yelled and screamed so loud at Simmons for what he just fucking did. They would have thrown my ass out of the arena. I was so livid at him. I think I threw something at the television, too. I was so fucking pissed. I was like...
You would be that guy, too.
I would, because it's like... Because it's just like, you know what, Simmons? You know... I want to love you, but you are making this really fucking hard for me to love you right now. I want to strangle you for how stupid you're being at this point. I don't care if Tom Wilson's an asshole.
I mean, I remember my initial reaction to that was like, dude, what are you doing? You were about to be on a power play. Why are you... Why would Tom Wilson? now you're why? I couldn't get any of my questions out. It was always just why. That's actually really funny, John. John goes on to say, I can't have our captain only be tall enough to reach my that's good.
Well said, John. Well said. I love that.
Brother, for real, though, I hope you're doing well down there. I know we haven't gotten a chance to talk as much, but I hope you're doing well, bud.
As we hope everyone's doing well out there.
Of course.
And Dylan saying, fingers crossed the Flames can get to the second round this year. First time since 2015. I mean, hey, the Flames got a good shot. I mean, who knows? Maybe they will. Maybe they will this time. Let's see. And he's saying, none gives credit to none gives Briere credit or Brindamore. Are you sure? We gave credit to Briere. Brindamore, no, we didn't give credit to. But Brindamore, all the same, deserves all the credit in the world for being one hell of a playoff player and regular season player for the Flyers for as long as he was on the team.
And one hell of a captain for Carolina.
Yeah.
He said, I'm doing good. Giroux got traded.
Yes, all the Giroux haters, man, they must be just... I think all of them are probably... I think John and Anthony and everybody are just all hanging together, and they're all just toasting and drinking up a storm here. They're probably just having the time of their lives, just dancing on everybody who loved Giroux, just dancing on the grave.
I'm not going to speak for John, but other guys I've seen in other Flyers groups, they're still angry. They're like, yeah, this should have happened 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago. They're still not happy.
They're the people who just can't get any. The Rolling Stones did say can't get no satisfaction. That's pretty much the definition right there. Great song, by the way.
This is the first time I'm actually really getting like a chance to really look at. Alex Nedeljkovic has an amazing helmet.
Yeah, he does.
Like his goalie mask is pretty freaking awesome.
What's he got? Let me see here.
It's like it's almost like the old school Winter Classic jersey that they did.
I'll take a look at it when they close in on it. Anthony, I'd rather have Alexander Day than G. Oh, stop. Alexander Day was the biggest bust in the history of the NHL. And I don't know why the Flyers even decided to take a chance on him in the first place.
Well, because of his rep. They thought that maybe sooner you could have gotten him going, but...
Yeah. Did not. It really didn't. Oh, did we even get anything for him when we traded his ass? I don't even think we got anything for him when we traded him. I know we gave Ottawa Maxime Ouellet, who was a shit goaltender we took in the first round. Thought that was going to solve our goaltending issues. Boy, oh boy, were we fucking wrong. But anyway, Dylan saying, sorry, Manny, your Sharks going down tonight. Oh, okay. All right. I wouldn't be surprised. The Sharks decided to butt fuck themselves out of competitiveness. But you know what? Honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Nedeljkovic just got over. Who the hell just wiped out? Who the hell was that?
I'm not sure.
Was that Sealer? Fucking bench his ass for the rest of the damn game.
That was Sealer. Yeah, I remember now.
Mike Dunn. What's up, Mike? Saying Farabee having one of his one good games of the season. Won't see this till next season. I would disagree with that. Joel Farabee's been actually way more consistent than most of the players on this team, honestly.
He's got 3 points in 2 games.
Yeah.
2 assists.
The injury really was a bugaboo, made him, be ghosting on this team. But I appreciate you chiming in, Mike, though. Good to see you.
We do. Yes,
one of our boys from the Flyers Extreme.
I was about to say he's in the Flyers Extreme.
Yeah.
He's playing a little more of a confident game too. I think that's the big thing with Farabee's, and it's really with any hockey players. But the guys like Farabee, once you get your confidence going, man, they really start to move. And he's out there, he's throwing his body around. I see him getting into some of the corners and battling a little bit. So it's good to see him starting to get rewarded with some points here.
Yeah. And Ted saying, isn't kind of silly for us to wear A's when our captain is on the Panthers? Make McEwen the captain.
I'd be all right with that. If anyone, I'd be okay with that. Real quick, boys, I do want to reach out to the fam here at A2D Radio to pray for our fam in the Flyers Extreme group. Jimmy Teres, who we've had on the show, is the owner of that group. His mom's not really doing very well at all health-wise. Just recently actually put on life support. So, prayers, thoughts, everything would be appreciated right now for our boy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thoughts and prayers with you, brother. Man.
Moving on, I like this comment from John.
John saying he banged Pamela Anderson in her prime. G grabbed a cop's ass, but Tommy Lee also banged Pam in her prime too. So
and that got out to a bunch of other people.
Kid Rock, a lot of people fucking banged Pamela Anderson. She had a thing for rock stars, apparently. Then again, most women did back then.
She didn't even. She didn't. I feel like.
That's what I want to know, Briz.
I mean, I feel like she didn't even go for the good ones. She just went for rock stars. She didn't have any. I mean, Tommy Lee was a good drummer. I'm not gonna sit here in front, but you could have had so much better. There were better rock stars at that time. You go after Tommy Lee. I mean, Tommy Lee was hung, so I can kind of understand.
What, did you watch the tape?
Who hasn't watched the tape?
I have not. I don't want to, honestly.
I watched the Hulu series. Does that count?
Sure.
Is that any good?
They showed how pure their love was, and how Pam loved, much like, a lot of women out there want to turn the bad boys and change them.
Good luck with that on Tommy.
I believe that so much, actually. She wasn't like a floozy or anything like that. She actually seemed like she was a decent person, or is a decent person. I'm talking like she died, but
that's in all seriousness, that series really it was like more of a biopic than I would have given it credit for. I thought it was more like humor, sensationalism, yada yada. But no, it was deep. And you first started like hating on, especially Tommy Lee, and him like basically mistreating his workers, and that's one of his workers is who stole the safe that had the tape in it. And then as the series go on, you start feeling like so bad for them. Like they're, yes, they were famous. Yes, they were definitely these eccentric personalities. But bottom line is they were just a couple in love that were on their honeymoon and were expressing their love and made a tape. And Pam got such slut shame for what shouldn't a married couple be in love and want to fuck around on their honeymoon?
Of course.
Like, they're in a lake in a deserted area of the country. Like, I'm just surprised that I got that take home from that series. I did not expect that. I'm much more immoralistic than that.
I kind of wanted to see it, but I wasn't sure how good it was going to be. But it actually sounds like it's very entertaining.
Yeah, it really was. It was good. If you have Hulu, I'd check it out.
I saw another comment from Mike in here that I actually liked. He said if TK doesn't start getting back,
Benny's Nation. She says she went for guys who could twiddle their dick, right, man? Sorry, that's just pretty funny.
like I said,
That is fun.
Tommy Lee had quite a bit to twiddle himself, so it's no surprise that he got panned. But back to what Mike was saying, if TK doesn't start getting back to scoring, do we let him go when his contract is up? I mean, he's still got a couple years on his contract. If I was a Flyers, I would have been trying to move him at the deadline here just to see, at least throw him out there just to see what you get. Maybe you make a trade at the draft.
Well, apparently there's some thought to that because Dylan went on to say earlier TK had picked up him since the trade rumors came out, which is both good and bad. It's good to see TK, picking it up, but then it's a bad thing because it's like, oh, so it took a threat of you getting traded for you to get your head out of your ass? Shut the fuck up, dude. Like, seriously. Come on.
You want to keep him and have him eventually slide into a bottom 6 role. I'm fine with that. Yeah, he's never going to be that top 6 guy that we wanted. You know what I mean? Where he was drafted to be. I just don't see that consistency, that consistent hunger, like to Maddie's point. So, I'd be willing to let him walk after his contract's up.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to love TK, man. You know what I mean? But I can't be a flip flopper. I got to keep it real. The 30 assists is nice to see. You know what I mean? If he can show consistency of his game, like I said, you continue to draft and you build the stud puppies around on the top 6, and you want to have TK on that, energy line, third line, fourth, not generally a fourth line type of player, but I could see him on a third line. You know what I mean? Providing you with like 12 to 15 goals and 30 assists a season, I'll take that from a bottom 6 guy.
No, absolutely. The only thing that I ask for any player is consistency. So if you're a playmaker, I want to see you consistently get some assists. If you're a goal scorer, I want to see you consistently get some goals. I know you're gonna have games where you're gonna not get on the point sheet, but just consistent effort every night. You go out there and the best example of this is Zach McEwen, consistently out there, energy guy. Always hitting, always given 110, as Ken Shamrock says. Oh, Farabee went 5 holes, shouldn't have. He went low. Sorry, I'm like 35 seconds behind you guys. So that's all I want. It's consistency. If TK can get consistent and start putting up 30, 40 assists a year, 45 assists a year, you throw him on the third line, make the third line a scoring line and or even a checking line, and put TK there. Me, I trade him. And see what I can get for him.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Renee's saying nobody wanted JVR, and then she went on to go say he could have been a Stanley Cup run contender rental.
His contract is too fat.
Yeah, the JVR. That's the only issue with trying to move him is his contract. God, I can't wait till that's over. But
the last year is only worth $4 million, so I thought maybe to that effect, not too expensive. But yet he has that extra year, so the team that traded for him would be stuck with him for another year as well. So bear that in mind.
Maybe, yeah, that's a good point. Ted
the
saying
Flyers are having a much better second half of the second period here. They're getting some really good scoring opportunities.
Yeah, you say that, but
Piranha again.
Yeah. God damn it.
Well, that's what Detroit does. They pass very well east-west within the zone, and very hard for the goaltender to get over there. A lot of open net to shoot out for Jacob Piranha there.
Larkin making a good play, getting into an open spot to pass it to Verana, stretching out the defense.
I mean, it's tough because Verana is a goal scorer. He's a pure goal scorer.
He is.
He's always going to put himself in a good position. You always got to keep your head on a swivel with him on the
ice. And what the fuck you pointing at, too, Verana? Somebody should knock his head off right there. What are you pointing at? Like you're a wise guy? Don, take care of your boy here.
Then Ted saying there's no compensatory picks in the NHL. We got to trade TK if that's the case. Well, it's true, but the question is, does anybody want him? So far, I'm going to say no.
Wait, at what point? What were you talking about, Rob? After he scored the goal, or as he was skating back to the bench?
Yeah, after
Pointing.
he scored the goal.
Oh, he's pointing at whoever set him up.
Larkin.
Yeah.
Still, I think Rob's saying the Flyers should just, get a bit of an attitude going and then just start smacking them around a little bit for, time.
Well, I think they need to get an attitude. I don't think they need to start smacking them around, but they definitely need to get a little bit of an attitude and start playing with a little bit of an aggressive edge. Get that energy line out there to start the third period. Not necessarily start anything, but to get some momentum going back in their favor. Because up until that goal, I thought they did a good job at getting some momentum back, especially after that second goal.
Yeah.
Up before that Verona goal, they had about 3 or 4 good chances in the span of 2 minutes. So, if they can get that back, they're only down 2 goals. They're still in this game. Still a lot of hockey left. They can absolutely still turn this around.
And Benny's saying,
"Fuck if he's pointing at Larkin, go fuck himself."
Hack that fucking finger right off, just like whack.
I mean, let's be real. A lot of players do that. You get your setup guy. You
No, Brian, I don't care.
Like, yo, you. Nice play.
No, you can't PC this. No PC here.
No.
Benny's Nation say it. Any
Fuck
truth,
that dude.
Benny's Nation say it. Any truth to the rumor that the Coyotes are asking the players' moms to drive the players to the rink because they can no longer afford transportation? I think that's been confirmed by several very well sourced reporters.
Crazy.
Hockey moms rule the world.
Yes.
That's the one thing I miss about working at Pure Hockey is all the hockey moms.
Yeah.
Yes. Pleasant memories.
Mm-hmm. We'll just leave it at that. What's up, Rye? Swoopy's in the house.
What's up, Ryan? What's going on, brother? All right. Broad Street Bullies, Crazy Eights. There you go. All right, guys. Second period coming to a close. We now go to our intermission, ladies and gentlemen. And our intermission, that is our intermission sponsor, also our third period sponsor, is FanUp. If you guys like fantasy sports, and most people around here do, most members of the fam, as well as most members of A2D Radio, and they say FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports. They have daily NBA contests and more. You can win great prizes if you sign up today and use the promo code HG for 5,000. That's right, 5,000 points. A $50 value. All you got to do is go to fanup.app, grab it, download it, put it up, and sign on with A2D. And there you go.
Yep. So before we really go into depth about the trade deadline here, there is something I do want to talk about, and that's involving. So I want to knock this out of the way first.
Sure.
The rest of the deals. So there's a trade yesterday, and it involved the Anaheim Ducks and the Vegas Golden Knights. For those of you that don't know, this is one of the final deals of the afternoon. It had newly acquired John Moore and the contract of Ryan Kessler going to the Vegas Golden Knights. In return, the Anaheim Ducks got a 2023 second-round pick, and they got Evgeny Dadonov in return. So probably about an hour after the trade had officially gone through, there was a report that dropped. And Rob, I don't know if you saw it because I think I sent it to you guys. Apparently, the Anaheim Ducks were on a no-trade list that Dadonov apparently gave the Ottawa Senators. So now, after everything has gone on, the last update I got was that, and I'll read the tweet from Frank Saravelli, who's one of the better guys out there. I swear to God, I love this guy. So let's see if I can bring up the older threads. Okay, so the problem is Evgeny Dadonov apparently had a no movement clause in his contract and had a list of 10 teams when he was with Ottawa. Apparently, Ottawa has not allegedly hadn't filed the list, and Anaheim was apparently on the list. So now, between the NHL and the NHLPA, trying to figure out what the hell happened. So now the trade is possibly going to be annulled because of the Ottawa Senators. So the last update that Frank Saravelli tweeted out about the situation is the Dadonov situation, as best as I can glean / understand, Dadonov seems to have properly filed the 10-team no-trade clause list with the Sens before July 1st, 2021 due date. Sens traded Dadonov to Vegas. This is where the scrutiny happened. Sens traded Dadonov to Vegas on July 28th, 2021. Now, was the list that they sent, or was the still valid list passed on? So now the way we're looking at it is, obviously NHL's not to blame. The NHLPA is not to blame. I don't know how much they can actually do about this, but they're definitely investigating it. If Ottawa did file, like they said that they did, and failed to pass it off to Vegas, I don't know what happens. So does the trade get annulled if that happens? Does it not? Who's this on? Like that's kind of what I'm getting at. Anaheim finally gets a decent player, and not the best goal scorer, but he can create some offense. And then now this happens.
Right. Yeah, it was strange. It was a strange story to read or what have you. Did that limited no movement clause, does it transfer over within the trade? Because you're talking about it's a different organization, that agreement was, but I mean, yet when you trade a player, the contract carries over too, including what he would make in salary. So if that's a stipulation of the contract, I could see it really going both ways, and it's unfortunate. I think it was sort of a move here for the Knights to pick up really dead cap space in Kessler because he's done, right?
Absolutely. So his contract would fall under the LTIR, which would pretty much his cap contract wouldn't even count against the cap, and then you lose the $5 million for Dadonov. To answer Ryan's question, I don't think Vegas was aware, because I think when Ottawa traded him to Vegas, I don't think they sent the 10-team list to Vegas, so they knew who they could and couldn't trade Dadonov to. So I think that's the issue there. Obviously, and some people don't think that this isn't an NHL issue. This isn't a NHLPA issue. This is a issue with the Ottawa Senators for whatever lack of communication, and a issue with Dadonov and his agent for not sitting there saying, "Hey, if we're planning on trading him, just in case Ottawa didn't give it to you, here's the list. Call Ottawa to verify. I'll call Ottawa, put them on speaker. We'll verify this together." So this is at fault of the Senators, Dadonov, and his agent. This is something that him and his agent should have been on top of from the jump. Not necessarily an NHL problem. What did Dylan say? Dadonov said he wasn't going to Anaheim according to report. Yeah, because he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to play for him. He's on the no trade list, and I don't blame him. Is it his fault? Partly, yeah. But it's just my question is, how soon is this trade going to be annulled? Because it sucks, because I want that second round pick in 2023.
What I'm confused is did Ottawa for a second thought they were the Arizona Coyotes and fucked up this royally? Because this sounds like an Arizona Coyotes fuck up right here. It really does, honestly.
I mean, I don't necessarily think that it's a fuck up. I think it's just there was a lack of communication there between Ottawa and Vegas, because that's something that Ottawa should have told Vegas when they traded him and said, "Hey, we got the trade list. We're going to fax it over to you. If you decide to move him, here's the teams you cannot send him to." So, again, I think I think this is a huge issue because of Ottawa. I mean, Ottawa filed the paperwork. They filed the list on before July 1st. Like Frank Zarelli said in the tweet, it's just a matter of, did Vegas actually get the list or not? Are they going to rectify the situation? Because my question is what happens now?
Yeah.
What happens now? Do they nullify the trade? Does he just report to Anaheim? Does he stay in Vegas? Like, what happens?
You can't. I don't even think you can arbitrate this, honestly. So.
No, I mean it's Vegas. They have to figure it out because this puts a huge hitch in. Well, not a huge hitch, but it hurts what Anaheim did at the deadline because I thought they had a great deadline.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. We'll have to keep tabs on that story as it develops because that's going to be very, very intriguing as we go down the line here. Probably even into the playoffs because shit doesn't go very quick when these kind of situations arise.
Sure, just sum it up real quick, bro. A player got traded from one team to another, and the player that got traded was traded to a team that was on a no trade list. And apparently Vegas doesn't have the list. So, it's kind of a what happens next kind of thing.
It's like...
Did you say list?
Yeah. Stupid idiot. All right. I just wanted to read this one because Renee said guitarist Lee Atlas of Heathen, Exodus, and Angel Witch, all of them just fucking awesome bands, is a diehard Flyers fan, and he sometimes wears his Flyers jersey on stage at metal shows, gigs, concerts, and festivals. That's what I love to fucking hear. I just had to read that
the guys
because...
from August Burns Red are big Philly fans too. Like they even have on one of their rigs, they have a huge Phillies sticker going across it. So
nice.
I mean, they're from I think they're from Allentown. They're always in the area, though. They're always in that area.
Well,
that knob will go down as the duck that never was, like Jason Zucker for Calgary. Yeah.
Who was the first to be notified? Well, apparently not Vegas. Apparently not.
Yeah. I think they contacted the NHL. I think the league was contacted first, and now it's kind of. I guess you can kind of say it's under investigation.
Yeah, they'll have to.
So, Don
all right.
Again. All right. Trade went down yesterday. Vegas Golden Knights, Anaheim Ducks. What's up, Tommy? Evgeny Dadonov and a second-round pick going to Anaheim. Ryan Kessler's contract and defenseman John Moore, who they got in the deal for Hampus Lindholm, went to Vegas. He's going to be a Ducks legend, not John Moore. What happened was there's a no movement clause that was in Dadonov's contract. Anaheim was on the list of that no movement. So he didn't want to ever be traded to Anaheim. He was traded to Anaheim. So apparently there's a list that Ottawa filed that when they traded him to Vegas, Vegas never got the list. So now that he got traded to Anaheim, it's a thing. So it kind of is what it is. Oh, fuck you, Don, you piece of shit. Fuck you.
It's all right. All right, gentlemen. So let's take a look at what we have here. Some of the notable deals at this year's trade deadline. It's the wheeling and dealing season for all our beloved and hated teams out there in the NHL. Flyers were active in selling off, and
that's so true, Dylan. I'm sorry.
Apparently the Gulls play the Silver Knights tonight, and poor John Moore isn't sure who he's playing for because of the trade. Maybe, if there was, my God, I would have done this. I would have gotten the two jerseys, cut them down the middle, and would have gone out when one of those fuckers on the ice. Like, what? Oh, my God. All right, so
I'm sorry, Maddie.
let's take a look. Let's take a look at the trade deals here. Max Domi. I don't know why I've been getting him and his father mixed up lately, and it's like Ty hasn't played in fucking years. But anyway, Max Domi, he was dealt in a three-way deal between the Hurricanes, the Panthers, and the Blue Jackets. Yeah, that was an interesting deal to see. And once again, Domi moving. Like, you ever notice Domi is like moved to like 20 fucking thousand teams at this point? So how long is it going to be before he ends up on a Flyers team?
You want him? Because I don't. He's a
really
two-way player, but
no,
he's not great.
Like,
He's not the player he was in Arizona. I can tell you that right now. I mean, even a little bit in Montreal, you saw a little bit of that offense that he can bring. But I think something's not right with him, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like a lingering injury that he doesn't want to get fixed or whatever. But his offensive numbers are not what they should be.
yeah. He's going.
Appreciate it, Swoopy, but you know what? It's for the better. It's time to move on from some players.
Let's see.
That'll be forever, but you know he's a Bruin now.
The Wild
nothing but luck.
The Wild traded Victor Rask to the Seattle Kraken, which will definitely help the Kraken out. What do you think about the Wild in this decision? You think that it was a necessary move that they made here, or do you think that they should have kept him?
Minnesota keeping Rask?
Yeah.
No, I mean Rask is a role player at this point in his career, and you know Minnesota, I think had an opportunity to make a move for him and maybe bring up another young gun, and they took that chance. And Kraken are just kind of, I don't want to say selling, but you know they're moving pieces here, and feel like Rask would be a good addition to the roster, which I think he could be because they need some stability up the middle.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it does well for Seattle too to shed off, expiring contracts.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing about the Lindholm deal, Swoopy, is they tried to re-sign him. He wanted more long-term, and
Mm-hmm.
Ducks didn't want to sign him to a long-term deal. They wanted to give him 4. He wanted 8. So it is what it is. We traded him to Boston. We got a ton in return.
Benny's Nation. Over under how many teams Max Domi's played for? 30. He's going to play for all. He's going to play for 30 teams. Be off by 2. Let's see here. Next up, we have the Andrew Kopp deal. Center left wing originally of the Winnipeg Jets. He went to the New York Rangers. Morgan Barron went the other way. I like this deal, actually, for the Rangers. To go get Kopp, and then you give up Barron to the Jets. I thought it was a really solid deal.
I love this deal for the Rangers. You're getting a 35-point guy who's probably going to be a lot better now in a better system on a better line. And this is a guy who can, he can modify his style of play. He can essentially play whatever you need him to play. And very underrated player in the league, Andrew Kopp, and he's. I hate the Rangers. Because they got so much better over the last couple of days, and
I
think they're a legit contender for the Cup now with the moves that they made over the last couple of days. And Kopp's just gonna come in and he's gonna do his thing. I love this. I love that move for the Rangers. I was upset about that one.
Benny's Nation believing as well that was a good move. Tampa Bay decided that they were going to bring Riley Nash back into the organization for future considerations to Arizona, which, just to beef up the forward core, I mean, that team still has plenty of talent for days. And Tampa and Florida have been battling for the first spot in the Atlantic for pretty much most of the season. So, I mean, Tampa's always a threat, so it just adds to it.
That's a meh move to me. That's just a pure depth move. Riley Nash is nobody special.
But still, he definitely will help, for playoff push necessities. Dylan Ushler saying Coleman just leveled Tomas Hertl. Thanks. That's what he gets for not coming to Calgary. Oh, Flames and Panthers Cup final. Interesting. So all of Calgary and all of Canada could be disappointed again when Claude Giroux and the Panthers win the Cup and a non-traditional hockey market wins another one over Canada. Because that's exactly what would happen if that's what we get.
I'm not going to sit here in front. Like, I love. I know, we're probably going to go through a couple different deals here, but I want to talk about teams overall real quick. Is the Colorado Avalanche? I thought had a really good trade deadline as well. Going out getting a really good PK special teams guy in Altieri Lettinen, and essentially, if what the rumors are true, Justin Braun, a defenseman, and a 2024 second-round pick heading to Montreal. I love this move for them. I mean, that's something that they needed a little bit more was help on the PK, and he can put the puck in the net. Lekkinen is a solid player. He's still relatively young, and they went out and made a couple other moves and snagging Andrew Cogliano. Why, I'm not sure, because Cogliano hasn't really done much since leaving Anaheim.
Yeah, he didn't do much for San Jose, that's for sure.
No, not at all. But depth move. Clearly, both of these, and
I honestly forgot Andrew Cogliano was on the Sharks on multiple occasions. Like, oh yeah, that's right, Cogliano's on the Sharks. Why the fuck?
When I saw that, that's the same thing I said. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about Cogs. I thought he was.
I forgot.
I mean, it's a good move. It's more leadership. I mean, he was always a good guy to be able to speak up, and he's a respected player throughout the league, and I think he's good for the locker room.
Yeah. And Dylan saying Colorado feared Calgary. They added some grit because the Flames bullied them in their 2 games this season.
They did. I watched one of those games. They just got pummeled. I mean, you got to think of it this way. Calgary's got some big-bodied players. One of them being Milan Lucic.
That's what they did to Winnipeg in that qualifying matchup. They fucking brutalized Winnipeg and took them right out. Then they tried to do it to Dallas, and Dallas said, "Fuck you." Well, let's see here. Swoop, thanks, Kyle Clifford. Well, let's see here. So, Calgary trade Michael McNiven, backup goalie to Ottawa. Nick Merkley going to the Rangers, and Petito going to the Sharks. Yeah, one of the Merkleys is gone. So, unfortunately, the Merkleys are now separated from each other. The 2 not related Merkleys on the Sharks are no longer together. Ryan Merkley is... he's still here. Nick is not.
That's another decent move. I mean, Nick Merkley hasn't broken out yet. He's still relatively a younger player. Really starting to get his shot now. Going from Arizona to the Devils, from the Devils to San Jose, and now San Jose to the Rangers. I think once he finds his home and is really able to settle in, I think he's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, that is a shame. I wish that had happened. Oh, Sharks got a goal from Vlasic. That's nice.
Merkley's going to be a good third-line guy. I think he's going to be a very good third-line player as his career progresses.
Yeah.
It's an interesting topic of trivia. How many players with the same last name that weren't related played on the same team? I can't think of very many, right?
That's
that
true.
Weren't related?
Well, I mean, I think there were a couple of Adams back in the 80s that played on, I think it was Vancouver, and they were not related to each other. And they had the same initials, too. They had the same fucking initials as well. It's like, oh my God. Did Vancouver really just say, fuck my life? Let's have the same players not related with the same initials? Christ.
I mean, yeah, like Scott Stevens, Kevin Stevens.
Yeah. Chris Stevens.
I mean, God,
you had Chris Bork.
My brain is starting to hurt just thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, you had a lot of Borks. Then you had Rene Bork for the Flames. So there you go, Dylan. There's a blast from the past for you.
Jersey.
You have a Rene Bork jersey? Interesting. He did not
I
last.
have it when he was with Montreal too. That was his breakout season. That was his only really good season.
Yeah, then he
He
Went
had,
to
he had
Calgary,
like
wasn't it?
32 goals that year.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to put Rene Bourque on my. Nope. Should have put Zach Aston-Reese. I'm an idiot.
Until the Flames legend, Rene Bourque.
It's better than Ducks legend John Moore.
And then, of course, Rickard Rakell going to the Pittsburgh Penguins for what did they get back for him? Anaheim did? Dominik Simone, Zach Aston-Reese. There we go.
Well, they got more than that. They got a 2022 second-round pick. They got Zach Aston-Reese, which I love. Dominik Simone, who's a Blech. He's just going to be a filler. And then Clang, who's a goaltending prospect, which officially puts the timer on John Gibson. It's going to be a matter of time before he says, I'm out. Love the deal. I love the deal. I love what we got back minus Simon. Aston-Reese is a really good penalty killer, and you get a second-round pick so you have 2 first-round picks this year, 1 or 2 second-round picks, and then you have a third. So I'm about that.
Nice rising shot from Cam Atkinson there, just barely missed.
Yeah. Let's see here. Stars. Yes. Okay. So the Red Wings traded Nemesnikov to the Dallas Stars for a 4th-round pick.
I actually do like that because you clear up some cap for that one. Not that they have to really worry about it.
Don, feel free to give your opinion on that. And let's
Gotta
see.
be
And then,
disappointed with Dallas's inactivity.
yeah, Dallas was not super active. Yeah.
I mean, once you have a team that you like, you kind of want to stick with it. But, I mean, Dallas isn't exactly on the inside looking out. They are on the outside looking in, but they're not a terrible team. They're a good team. They just signed Pavelski to an extension, and I think they just kind of want to rock with what they have and keep gelling a little bit. I mean, Carolina didn't really make any moves either. They made the one move to get Max Domi, but they weren't planning on doing anything extravagant anyway. It's just kind of a deal that kind of fell into our lap.
And Dylan, yeah, was saying, Canatine, Dominik Simone sucks. Flames Nation hated him last year.
Clearly, Penguins didn't think much of him.
Yeah. Ted saying Bork. That's definitely a Simpsons A2D meme.
Draw it up, Brodo. Draw it up.
And Dylan saying Dallas will make the playoffs. Vegas will not. Oh.
I like that, though.
Whew. Boy, if that does happen, I'm going to laugh my ass off at Vegas. Just saying.
But jumping back to the Rakell deal real quick, I do love this for him too, because they could make the move to re-sign him.
Get him! Rip his head off!
And this could be the type of move that really revamps his career, because now you're playing with one of the best players in the world who will elevate your play, or you're playing with Evgeny Malkin, who can elevate your play. So, I love this for Rakell. I got nothing but love for him. I'm going to miss him too. But, I mean, we'll see if Anaheim can work out a deal to bring him back, because he's still relatively young. I think he's only like 28. But if he doesn't come back, I'm not going to be upset. But it was a good deal for both teams. I thought that was a really good hockey trade.
Sealer almost got into it with somebody.
Wallman.
Wallman almost got fucked up.
Gotta love his spirit. Not a good hockey player, Sealer is not, but his spirit is good.
He looked like he speared him.
Yeah.
The linesman did not need to jump in there. I agree. Linesmen don't need to jump in at all. Just let them fucking murder each other, please. Can we get back to that? That was fun. All right, so let's see here.
Ryan evil laugh after saying that. Let them kill each other.
Excellent.
Yeah, right. Maniacal laugh.
Oh! Dylan's like, Markstrom just slashed a shark. Need him to fight Reimer now. Okay, have Reimer fuck up Markstrom. Wow. I'm fine with that.
What a move by Max Willman there, man. He was looking sleek.
Let's see, Flames went and got Ryan Carpenter in exchange for a 2024 fifth-round pick. And
see, this is what I mean when I say, like, when we were talking about the Justin Braun deal earlier, that was a really good deal because Ryan Carpenter, who's still relatively young, is a good role player. You got a fifth-round pick for that. And, if you catch the right team, they'll overpay. And I think the Rangers would have overpaid a little bit more.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. And let's see here. That was just a rehash of the Rakell deal. I love how in this article they brought up one thing is that Phil Kessel did not get traded. No shit. Oh my god. Love how that was a part of this. And let's see. Oilers getting Brassard from us. And PK Subban staying put. Who the fuck would want Subban? What?
A rebuilding team looking to eat contracts.
That's a good point. So why didn't Phil Kessel go to the Devils in exchange for PK Subban going to the Coyotes?
Because
Very
that's not going to help anything. That's really just like a level trade.
I know. That's why I'm surprised it didn't go through.
It keeps the teams in the same spot that they're in. That trade would make no sense.
The Devils have been in the same spot for a while now. Same thing with the Coyotes. So what's the difference? Might as well.
Lateral.
Thank you, Rob. It's a lateral move. It's a move that doesn't make any sense.
I know, but let's be honest here. Who cares? Just let them do whatever.
Here's a question I wanted to fire out, you boys, before I forget. Predators waived Phil Myers. Should the Flyers pick him back up?
No, because he hasn't even really played all that much, honestly, this year, and he's had his own injury problems. So it's like, fuck it, the last thing we need is another injury-prone person on this fucking team.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pass, too. I mean, he hasn't really wowed me since that one training camp that he had, and, he was making a bit more mistakes than he should have last year, and he just hasn't really shown anything in Nashville, playing with realistically a much better defense. I would pass. All
right, then.
Although, oddly enough, in my NHL season, I just picked up the guy that Anthony just mentioned on waivers because I needed a depth defenseman.
You know what I find funny is that NBCS Philadelphia. What I find funny is that NBCSN decided to show the Western Conference, and it's like they forgot Detroit's in the East, didn't they? They forgot Detroit went eastward, didn't they?
No, they were showing it in relation to the Flyers are on their West Coast trip right now. So
okay. I was gonna say.
You might have missed it just right before they showed the graphic of each team that they're facing. So I guess they wanted to show like what their current standings were in the playoffs, and it's a buzzsaw. I believe I saw St. Louis, Colorado, the Wild, and there was another team in between there.
Yeah, they got St. Louis Thursday. They got Colorado, I want to say Saturday. Something like that. It's gonna be a rough trip.
Let's get ready.
Let's
get ready to look at that goals against that. Oh, fight! Here we go, and a much of one, unfortunately.
Right off the draw too.
Yeah,
you just crushed them. There you go, McEwen.
There you go.
Yeah, the upcoming schedule is Thursday Blues, Friday Avalanche, Sunday Predators. That's the team I was balking on, and then next Tuesday versus the Wild before they come home to face the Maple Leafs to begin April.
Yeah, so McEwen and Smith going at it.
Yo, McEwen didn't even give him a chance. He jumped right at him.
I'm fine with that.
Off before the puck was dropped.
He punched him so hard his kids felt it.
Giovanni didn't even get his gloves off.
Well, I mean, if you say you're going to go with someone, you better be fucking ready to drop. Apparently, he wasn't.
It wasn't even that. Like I said, McEwen jumped on him before the puck was even dropped. I'm just saying.
That's all right. He's a Flyer. He can do whatever he wants.
Wonder if he gets the instigator there. I think the Detroit's captain was barking for that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, if they talked about it, I don't necessarily think he'd get the instigator. I mean, I wouldn't have jumped Giovanni Smith like that, because that could have been a really good bout, honestly, because he can throw him.
Ted, then that's why you put the C on him. He finished it. Let's see here.
Nope,
I mean, yeah, I could see Dylan Larkin's point there, because, like I said, it was a situation where he kind of jumped him.
Like I said, I'm fine with it.
He kind of jumped him. That's, that the McEwen's usually better than that.
I'm fine with it. If it had been the other way around, I would have hated it, but because it's McEwen and he's on the Flyers, I don't care. Fuck Giovanni Smith. He got what was coming to him. And that's a trip. Nice. So the Flyers are going to get a power play. Not that it fucking matters. But anyway. Hey, what's up, Damien?
I remember we used to be so positive, Maddie. Now you're turning into a Negadelphian.
Because what? Look at the fucking team, and you tell me, is there anything to be positive about? What the fuck?
There's plenty to be positive about. Dude, I've been dealing with a freaking rebuild since 2015, and I still found the positive things to talk about it with Anaheim.
True.
I don't know.
It's
maybe
all about your perspective. You have a negative perspective right now. You got to turn that shit around.
look at my organization for the last. Look at the last decade, and you tell me, should I have a positive outlook on this organization? I don't care. I don't give a shit. Yeah, we got prospects. Wow, we're gonna fuck them up like we always do, because this fucking team don't know what the fuck it's doing. Ugh. Buffalo Saberville, here we come. Let's enjoy being shitty.
Thanks, Damien, as always. Appreciate it.
Yes, Damien. By the way, hi, Damien. Damien's like, yes, you should. Troy's just laughing. He's enjoying the misery. like a true. Yes. Like a true fam member is soaking the misery and enjoy it. Then he's like, I'm realistic.
I mean, like, it's okay to criticize, but you're just flat out just straight bashing this organization.
Because they fucking deserve it.
Yeah. Is it justified? Absolutely, it's justified. Look at where they've gone. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not justified. But come on. We're trying to create conversation here. You're just being negative.
Oh, Troy, my heart. I might rage through my heart.
No, I don't. I'm not so sure about that because no.
Wow.
Troy, I would.
With Dagger.
I'll be honest with you, man. I don't even know if I can agree with that because no one gives a shit about soccer in the U.S. Like, honestly, listen, kicking it stateside. I'm sorry, kicking it stateside. There are people who do. Okay, my apologies to them. Kicking it stateside. By the way, check them out.
Definitely check them out.
But
Wheels and Adam do a great job over there.
Anyway, so what were we talking about?
Who's the lacrosse team? What is it? Philadelphia Spirit? No.
The Wings.
The Wings, yeah.
The Spirit, I think, is the indoor soccer team.
That's what it is. Yeah. The Wings. If you want to say lacrosse, all right, I'm fine with that.
Lacrosse is an awesome sport.
Yeah.
I've never actually watched a lacrosse game because
it's very hockey-like. It's like a mixture of like hockey, soccer, and another sport. But it's really good. Like if you watch indoor soccer or indoor lacrosse, dude, it's brutal.
Yeah, dude. Catching elbows.
Great save by Hart there. Wow, a point blank on Bertuzzi.
And then the Delkovich matched him, as you'll see here in a minute, Brian.
Yeah, I got about 5 minutes. That's how far behind I am.
Not really.
Ooh, Connor Brown, yeah.
I think Ted's knocking the.
Is that a rolling puck? I don't even think Nedeljkovic touched that. He did.
Ted, are you knocking Penguins fans? I think that's what he's trying to do. Because 2015, you get to celebrate a fake cup win. We don't get to choose a team out of nowhere. Hey, I'm going to be a Tampa fan this year.
You're right, Brian.
Wait, what fake cup? Wait, what's he talking about?
I'm 2015, which was one of the years that Pittsburgh won, I believe. Yes, it was.
I'm not following that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, Benny's saying Philadelphia Stars are back. Ah, yes.
Or what is it? The New Jersey Generals or something like that? The USFL that starts up, I think it's April 16th?
Yeah, something like that.
This week one. Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, Ted's saying he's talking about your Ducks. We don't get to choose.
I didn't get to choose. That's kind of what I fell into. I became a Ducks fan before I even really started watching hockey. And then it just kind of grew from there.
I mean, the best Mighty Ducks team is always going to be the animated show. I mean, obviously. That'll always be near and dear to my heart, but,
No taste. Come on. I would rather take the team from the Disney Plus show over the cartoon. Cartoon was not good. This wasn't good, Matt. It only lasted a season.
Hey, that was a beautiful show. Tim Curry was in it and everything. That show deserved better. That's not fair.
I mean, I'll give it because Tim Curry was in it, but yeah.
Provorov, your outlet passes make me want to kick babies. You're killing me, Smalls.
And Ted saying Washington Generals, they never win. Their arch nemesis, the Globetrotters.
Well, yeah, they literally are paid not to win.
Once in a while. And some bitch, he shot it wide. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Did they call something? Did they just call a
little tug there on Hayes, maybe?
I think they might have called a penalty shot.
Nah, get the fuck out of here, really?
I mean, I saw the ref doing this, and that usually means a penalty shot when they do that.
Yeah. Oh, sure. No, I'm not questioning you. I'm questioning the decision to go to commercial here.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah.
No, it was probably going to be. I wonder if they're just going to call it slashing penalty or a hooking penalty on him because he did get it up there. And I agree, Benny. DuckTales was the better duck program.
DuckTales.
Darkwing Duck, and then
Darkwing
everything
Duck.
else, and then the Mighty Ducks at the bottom.
A lot of ducks with Disney Plus. A lot of ducks with Disney. They really had a thing for ducks.
Right. I'm going to ask a stupid question. I'm going to ask a stupid question while we're at a commercial here. Have you guys watched the new DuckTales show yet?
I actually no, honestly.
It's pretty good.
It is.
It's pretty good. It doesn't live up to the old one, but it's still pretty good. It's entertaining.
Okay.
Howard
the Duck. There you go.
There's some creep me out.
Hell yeah.
Remember, George Lucas said yes to that and said yes to everything that happened in that film.
It's one of the greatest movies ever made.
Creep me out.
And what's her name was the star in it? What was her name?
Thompson.
Thank you.
Yes, she was.
She had some horrible choices in films. Besides Back to the Future and Red Dawn, she was in some really bad fills.
She was in some really good ones.
Howard the Duck is awesome.
I did not mention Howard the Duck in that. I did not. I never said it. Howard the Duck was a bad film. I will lawyer my way out of that.
Pretty good now, Robbie.
Caroline the City? Come on now.
That was a TV show, but okay.
That was horrible. Hang on. She did some really good movies, too.
Well, yeah.
I probably don't realize that she did.
Red Dawn, Howard the Duck, Back to the Future.
I took it back, boys. I don't see a penalty. I think that puck went out of play and it hit the netting and came back in. I think that was the stoppage.
Oh, he hits the
crossbar
too.
Oh, yeah.
So probably went out of play.
These days, bestiality should never be celebrated.
My God.
That is kind of what they were alluding to. Oh, Flyers just scored. Yes, nice. See? We talk about bestiality and James Van Riemsdyk scores, so there we go. Now we know what we got to do to make JVR score.
Jesus Christ, Maddie.
What? It's not my fault. JVR's the sicko who likes it. He scored while we were talking about it.
Ripper, too. Nice shot. Surprised how, like, you just little flecks of talent come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? She did more TV as she got a little bit older. Like, I'm looking at stuff in the 2000s. She's not doing many movies. If it is a movie, it's a TV movie. That's right. She was in Law and Order, too. That was a really good episode.
She was the first girl that made me feel a little fuzzy in my pants.
Oh, she was in the Little Rascals? Was she really? Oh, yeah, she was. She was
The greatest part of that joke was that not only was that contextual, but that's actually a line from The Big Bang Theory. Anyway, go on.
So she was in the Little Rascals. She was the ballet teacher. She was in the Beverly Hillbillies. She was the con artist trying to get the money.
Yeah.
She was in Dennis the Menace. She played Dennis's mom, and that's the movie that made me fall in love with her.
Yeah, truth.
What else? Obviously, Back to the Future.
I haven't seen.
She was in. Oh, she was in Casual Sex.
That's right. She was. Holy shit. With what was that? The blonde girl's name? Vicky something.
Ted is on fire right
Victoria
now.
Jackson.
Yeah,
Ted is really on fire. He's saying JVR's poor dog. You know it's a poodle too.
Obviously, Red Dawn. She was in All the Right Moves.
I actually have never seen All the Right Moves or Casual Sex. I have seen Dennis the Menace, but it's been a long time since I've seen Dennis
Dennis
the
the Menace was a great movie, by the way. It was.
I will not knock
it. Was
it.
what it was, but it was great. It was great.
It's been a while though since I've seen it. I do remember though. What was it? Wasn't it the serial killer dude kidnapped him and he kept feeding him fucking beans and he was just
All the Right
pissed
Moves
off all the time?
was a movie she did with Tom Cruise. It was okay. It was her first movie. It was like her first acting gig. And it was great because she got naked in it.
Anthony's saying none beats Elizabeth's shoe. Oh, did the Flyers just score?
He's another one that still looks good.
No, they didn't. Okay.
Ryan's in here. We're all talking about everything. Ryan's in here. She's still talking hockey.
Yeah.
I love Swoopy.
Why didn't JVR ever become a San Jose Shark? They really liked him at one time. I don't know. I'm kind of happy that never happened, honestly. Unfortunately, he did become a Flyer again, but oh well.
They could take him now for free.
Yeah, right. I'm sure the Flyers would love to hand him over, and
for
for
the bargain price of $4 million.
Nobody wants that contract though.
Or for the bargain price of get him the fuck off our team.
Yeah, but it's a short. Hasn't he been making like $8 million, and then the last year is only $4 million or something like that?
Something like that. I have to look up his contract real fast.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see. So right now, 4-3 Flyers are one away with about 6 minutes left, 6:57 left to try and tie this thing up. See if they can.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
How about little Owen Trippett first Flyers goal? Let's go right now.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Did you guys see the Batman yet? I did, but I can't say anything and neither can you, Ted, because
I will fuck somebody up.
Yeah.
I will legit fuck somebody up.
I've been sworn
any of this movie for me.
I've been sworn to silence. I don't want to be cut.
What was I looking up? Oh, right, JVR's contract.
Everything went to mush the moment
Let me just ask you one question, Maddie. Zoe Kravitz, how good of a Catwoman?
I thought she was good. She was sexy, which, I mean, that is a very important qualification. So,
but sexy, half badass. Got to be the badass.
Yeah, definitely fit that bill. Yes.
I've heard good things of her as Catwoman and Selena Kyle. So what was the question? His cap hit goes down?
No, that the past couple seasons, what was he making versus what he's going to make next year? I think it drops down.
All right, so his base salary over at the start of the contract was $7 million for the first 2 years, $6 million
Right.
for the next 2 years. So this year he's still making $6 million, and it's going to drop down to $4 million.
That's
And then
what
his
it is.
total salary was $8,877,500. So it's about it's a $2 million difference going in the next year. So that might be a little bit easier for some teams to take on.
Right.
Right now, no.
So I guess maybe by next year at the deadline, maybe JVR goes. If he's having a decent season. We'll see. Troy's like, don't say shit. Ted said I loved it. And then Ryan asked, why are you happy about that? Because I know I'm going to keep my mouth shut. That's why. That's why.
Yeah, Ted, I'm hearing a lot of good things about the Batman. I actually don't think I've heard anybody say a bad thing about it, honestly, of the people that I've talked to.
I went to
I'm just not paying $15 to go see it. If that's the case, I'll wait until it comes out on DVD and pay an extra $10 and keep it forever instead of paying $15 to see it one time.
Let's see here.
Owen Trippett get in the middle of some stuff there.
Yeah, buddy.
Fighting, starting off, getting things going with his new team.
All right, let's get back into some of these trades here. We had Justin Braun traded to the Rangers for a third, which we talked about. Alex Biega.
Tyler
from
Mott.
Toronto to Nashville. Yeah, Maddie, you're Tyler Mott. Another big one after, obviously, we didn't really talk about this one yet, but we'll talk about it real fast while we got a commercial. Marc-Andre Fleury going from Chicago to Minnesota for a conditional first-round pick. And the condition is Chicago's 2022 second-round pick is conditional and becomes a first-round if Minnesota, 1, makes the conference finals, and 2, Fleury wins 4 games in the first 2 rounds.
Oh, I didn't know that stipulation.
Yeah, so both have to happen for that to happen.
Well, that's an interesting move. I mean, I like this move for the Wild because their goaltending was kind of slipping a little bit. You're welcome, Minnesota, for taking Capo Kakinen off your hands. And now they're going to try and solidify goaltending for playoffs. So Fleury, man, he's the type of guy where if he gets that bug going in the playoffs, he does some freaking amazing things. So who knows? Maybe my prediction for them making a Western Conference Finals appearance, maybe it doesn't seem so bad now, especially if Fleury gets himself going in the right direction.
I like this trade for the Kraken because they got more than I thought that they deserved for this guy. Marcus Johansson going back to Washington for Daniel Sprong, a 2022 fourth and a 2023 sixth round. So I like that move for the Kraken. They get a fairly young player. Unfortunately, he's been bouncing around the last few years in Daniel Sprong, trying to really find a home. Marcus Johansson going back to his home, an organization that he's had a lot of success with, and an organization he grew up with, and still has a lot of friends in the organization and on that roster. So
I will say this about the Fleury deal. I mean, them getting him, I really like their chances of that turning that into a first round pick. So hopefully that'll make it a little better for you, Priz. Maybe getting like a goalie prospect, even on any kind of level back along with the pick would have been nice. But I don't hate the deal. You know what I mean? Talk about, getting a higher draft pick for a draft that's going to be nice and loaded.
yeah, and I was telling him too. I mean, he's 37 years old. He's not as spry, and I get Priz's point, and I really do, that he's a defending Vezina trophy winner. He's still 37. You're not, the fact that they got a conditional second. I understand he doesn't like the conditional part, but the fact that you got a conditional second says a lot, especially considering some of these other moves where they're not even getting third round picks back for some of these guys. So it's there's just, I don't know. I think it's a very good move for Chicago. And yeah, it's unfortunate that they're left without a goaltender at the moment, but I still think it's a very good move for Chicago, considering what they could have gotten back from any other team.
Meanwhile, JVR had a good chance on the doorstep, unfortunately right into the crest of Nedeljkovic's jersey, so it didn't go. Jake asking, Jake Frio, what's up, Jake? Saying, who do you think will be the next captain for the Flyers? There are candidates, but honestly, right now, I don't really have an answer for you. We're just going to wait and see who it's going to be. I'm unsure.
No captain. 5 assistant captains, as they used to call them.
Yeah, I don't know, Jake. I don't know if there's a clear-cut answer at the moment. I want to see guys step up, go full season without it, and if nobody steps up, you go another full season without it.
And if Coots comes back from the injury and he becomes like a really vocal leader on and off the ice, then I'd be open to Coots. I mean, he has been a guy that's been groomed for the position.
True.
Absolutely.
That's true. He's gotten that deal he got that deal to solidify him here for that reason too. Jesse asking what the score is. It is still 4-3 Detroit with 4:22 left to go in the third period.
All right.
Hey, we're right on point, Maddie. Nice. Somehow
Nice.
You'll be 5 seconds ahead of me though before the end of this game.
Before it's all said and done, right? Yeah.
All right. So a few more trades here to talk about. Capo Kakinen
To the Sharks.
to the Sharks with a 5th-round pick for Jacob Middleton. I like that pickup for the Wild. That's a nice defenseman there.
The Sharks needed a goalie because Aiden Hill got hurt, and
now
you can't roll Salchenko all the time.
No, that and Minnesota had 3 goalies now, so you had to get rid of one of them.
Yeah. Kakkonen was the odd man out, as they say.
I saw Dylan bring it up earlier. Brett Gulak going from Montreal to Edmonton for William Lagesson, a 2nd-round pick in 2022 and a 7th in 2024. And I talked about Alkiri Lettinen real quick. Another one involving Detroit. Obviously, 2 of the players are playing right now. Jake Wollman and Oscar Sundqvist have been acquired by Detroit, sending Nick Leddy and Luke Witkowski to St. Louis. I like that trade for actually both teams because you're getting a veteran D-man back for St. Louis, and you're getting some youth in Oscar Sundqvist.
Oh, no, they're offsides. God damn it.
And we talked about Andrew Cogliano. Johan Larsson going to Washington is another good move for Washington. You got a nice guy who can put himself in good position to create some offense. Just kind of stinks that he's been in Arizona. Gets overlooked. Talked about Tyler Mote. We talked about Rickard Rakell, Derick Brassard, Ryan Carpenter. We talked about Riley Nash, Andrew Kopp. We talked about Victor Rask, Dadonov. We touched on, and that's pretty much all the major ones.
All right, then. Very interesting trade deadline. And some inactive teams that, like Dallas brought up, rather strange. Some super active teams trying to bulk up for a playoff run. So
Or rebuild like Anaheim did.
Yeah. Or start the rebuild like the Flyers had to. But all the same, it'll be interesting to see how this pans out come playoff time. Be very, very interesting. Jesse believes that Tampa will three-peat this year. I mean, I did throw that out there as an early cup prediction. I'll stick with it, quite frankly. I don't give a fuck. So,
Florida. I always root for the ex-Flyers to win the cup, and then once they do it, I curse their name.
I want Florida. Correction. All right. Well, that did it. Empty netter. All right. So the empty netter pretty much finishes it off. I do believe Sundqvist got himself the empty netter. So there you go.
How far ahead are you? Jesus Christ.
You think he drinks Sunkiss?
Yeah.
Sundqvist?
He probably does. But and he should be the sponsor. But anyway.
Sunkiss for Sundqvist.
Meanwhile, the future the future owner of Sundqvist Juices to compete with Capri Sun just scored an empty netter, and it is 5-3 now, and it's his 5th goal of the year.
I don't agree with that move. If you're on a power play, that's fine. It's one thing, but Ooh, could that? Wait, let me see that again.
What?
It looked like Bertuzzi was a little offsides.
Yeah. Well, they didn't challenge it, so.
But anyway, it's I don't like that move pulling the goalie that soon, especially down 1.
Mm. Well, the risk did not pay off on that one. Oh
Well,
well.
maybe at that point you're down 1. You're playing even strength hockey. You go 5-on-5 until about a minute and a half. Not 3 minutes, unless you're on a power play. If you're on a power play, I get it. You give yourself a 2-man advantage, but
What's up, Joe? Says, hell yeah, go Flyers. We are only about 11 pieces away from contending. That's right. That's damn right, Joe. We're very close. We're so close. We're about 30 pieces away, and then one day we'll finally figure it out.
And that's what I mean, Dylan. Like, I love Johnny. I think he's a great player. He's just white noise in the Flyers organization. That's why I wouldn't want him.
And what a surprise. He stalled the puck off of Eero Karlsson. Anyway.
Ow! Don.
Yeah. Jesse Davis also said Capri Sun for life. So he's not down with Sunquist juices.
Yeah, I'm a Capri Sun dude too. I'd rather have Capri Sun.
In honor of Scott Hall.
For life, yes. Oh, and yes. World is a darker place, too. Scott Hall's gone. That sucks, man. The bad guy's gone.
I was going to say, doesn't that make it a brighter place? Because he was the bad guy? I will say his role as the bad guy made the bad guy be cool. So I got to give him that.
Yeah.
We paid homage last week. I don't know if you caught it. Frank looked the dead ringer like he could have been his body double, dude. Literally.
Nice.
Another empty netter? What are you doing?
And
Just put hard in net.
And it is Tyler Bertuzzi to get that one. Tyler Bertuzzi smiling wherever he's watching right now.
Did Mike Yeo get fired now?
Yeah, Mike Yeo's not keeping his job.
Yeah.
Just Nick Cajun.
Yeah, he'll threaten to fucking murder them if they don't score.
Plus light bulbs, halogens over the players' heads.
Yeah, the entire time. Oh, we got another fight. This time it's Smith and McEwen again. This time it's a fair fight. All right. Oh, McEwen won that one too. There you go. Giovanni Smith is officially a bitch. McEwen is the king. There we go.
Buzzsaw, man. He just doesn't stop. Rock him, sock him.
Love it. Love it.
Like, now, he's so off balance. I'm like, watch, McEwen's going to get nailed this time, but he just doesn't let up. He doesn't allow his opponent to punch, to throw a punch.
Love it. Love it. That's what I'm talking about.
And lo and behold, oh, no. I thought it was Sunkissed, but it's Sun's.
Yeah, McEwen is still talking.
See? Riley. That's on fucking night. God damn it. Why are there so many Smiths in the league? Anyway, Giovanni Smith.
Smith is probably another one with players that are not related playing on the same team.
Definitely. But yeah, Giovanni Smith officially has been made a bitch by McEwen. That's what I love to say.
Love to see you say that to his face.
I will not. I know.
I know.
I will not. Absolutely not.
Nah, if you want to say he's Zach McEwen's bitch, that's one thing. But to call him just a straight bitch?
I mean, I don't have a death wish, so you know.
That's my point. That's exactly
That's the same thing as when I said, anytime I would say I don't trust Paul Holmgren as far as I can throw him across the street, ain't very far. No. So maybe not even. Yeah,
you can admit it because there's not a lot of people that sit there in a minute. So.
Another new low, 13-game road winless streak, third longest all time. Nice for the Flyers.
Ouch.
Nice.
Oh, well, when it rains, it pours. Probably not exactly something you want to hear, right?
Yeah, that's a good saying to use right now. But the rain is just turds. But anyway, let's see here. We've got Wills chiming in. What's up, Wills?
Oh, man.
Willie?
Flyers over here making me chain smoke cigarettes, saying, "Give me Canton now, God."
End it all.
This team. It's another loss, another push for a higher pick. All right.
Yep.
Saying, how funny would it be if they were actually really good next year?
If they were really good next year,
I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there as a bold prediction. The Flyers could
Glad
be
you
good
are.
next year.
There's your hot take.
There's your hot take. Absolutely. How funny would that be if they went up in the playoffs next year?
You know,
That team sucks. They're garbage. Blah, blah, blah. They're going to break down for years.
see,
Oh, shit. They're in the playoffs.
I'm willing to do this if it did come to that. If the Flyers made the playoffs next year and were really good and had a promising shot of doing something, if someone out there has a Buffalo Sabres jersey,
Oh, Jesus.
I
This isn't
will-
the way I thought you were going.
I will wear that Buffalo Sabres jersey live on the air during the entire playoffs, no matter how far the Flyers get. Why? Because that would mean there's some luck to it, and I will gladly do it.
Okay, you ready? You ready?
What did he say?
I'm gonna put this out there. I'm gonna put this out there. What you should do is, ready for this one, Rob? You're gonna like this.
I'm listening.
If the Flyers make the playoffs, you have to shave your head.
Yes.
No, I'm not taking that deal. No.
If you're
no.
so confident, if you're as confident as some of these other fans are that this team's rebuild's going to take some time, it works in your favor. Then you wouldn't have anything to worry about.
And if you lose the bet, you shave your head.
I mean, my hair's already fallen out, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yes. Join the dark side. Yes.
I would show it, but I don't want to.
But
That's why I wear a hat every week.
But which head are we talking about?
This took a really weird and awkward turn.
Well, I had to do it. You're the one who decided to bring it up, so I had to.
Maddie,
Don.
if you got hair on that head, you got bigger problems.
Ready? I like this. Don. Matt, how you called Smith a bitch, but you won't take take that bet chicken shit?
Says the guy who can't pay anybody for all the bets he's thrown out. So I'm not taking that as an insult, bud.
Dodging loan sharks.
I love it. This game ended early, I feel like.
Love you too, Don. Love you.
What else is on? Oops.
And Renee saying, new look, rebuilt Flyers next season, being optimistic. And Ant, what's up, Ant, saying, how much confidence do you have in Fletcher to pick a good coach and build a winning team? Very little. He's been here 3.5 years, and we have gotten worse each year. Very true.
I mean, I would like to see him go after. There's a couple names out there, Ant, that I would like to see them go after as far as head coaches go. Claude Julien's on my list. He's actually probably my number one. I do think Rick Tocchet should be on my list. Anybody who's really a disciplinarian, that really has a good offensive system, I think would be ideal. That's why I like Claude Julien. He took a ragtag bunch of guys in Boston and turned them into a playoff team. And he didn't have much to work with. He really only had the one line. So he had Marchand, he had Bergeron, and he didn't really have a lot after that. I mean, they have more now than they had then. I mean, he eventually had Pasternak too, but I like Claude Julien. I like Rick Tocchet, could be a good one. And there's another one we were talking about either last week or the week before, but I don't remember who it was. Give me a second, I'll think of it. But anyway.
Quinville.
Yeah, it might have been Quinville but I don't know how soon he's going to be back into coaching now.
Gotcha. Tortorella?
It wasn't Tortorella. I don't think Tortorella would mesh with that locker room. They didn't mesh well with AV. And AV's not nearly the disciplinarian that he is.
Jesse, he's saying better to get out for this is my choice how I wanted my hair to look.
And then I responded to him exactly, Jesse. Horseshoes are for losers.
The doctor's saying, you say, what did I tell you, Maddie? The Russian war froze all my backs. Yeah, I'm sure.
Better watch that war talk, Ted. Putin might come after you.
Yeah. The Ted saying, do the Flyers ever really have back-to-back-to-back seasons? In terms of them missing, yes, but you have to go all the way back to the 90s to find that. Very early 90s would have been the last time. Let's see here. Ted saying, they are
I thought
the
about going there, but I'm like, I don't want to antagonize this more than it's already gotten.
But hey, listen, if you do need to take care of that area, Manscaped is the way to go. And by the way, in case anybody out there is wondering, A2D does have a promo code. And yes, you can get a discount with that code. 20% off and free shipping with the A2D code. So check out Manscaped. Get that shit taken care of and get confident.
So I'm noticing something that the Flames are doing here, especially on the power play, that the Flyers don't like to do. They always have a defenseman sitting in front of the net. There's always a guy there. And Flyers don't do that. There's always a guy there. Like right now, Anderson's in front of the net. Whether somebody's there or not. I mean, obviously Vlasic is there right now, but, as soon as the shot goes on net, he ties the stick up. He gets in somebody's face. There's always got to be a guy. There should always be a defenseman there. No matter what. You let three guys go and explore, and you keep the one guy in front of the net.
I don't think I need to send Smith any. I think he's got plenty of confidence. I think he's confident enough.
He took.
Oh, but did you see the fact that
I do like Giovanni Smith, though. I do like Giovanni Smith.
True. Dylan saying, what about Roland Gromberg for head coach? Dude has a killer haircut and beard.
I mean, I got a killer beard, too. Does that mean I could be a coach?
Just
if we're going to go by that, absolutely. I mean, my hair is not great, but
we're going to wheel out an 89-year-old Scotty Bowman to coach us. And then Jesse's saying, remember, we said KHL has hot chicks and Ferraris and still probably have the hot chicks, just no Ferraris. The Ferraris have been cut off.
Coach, where's the tracksuit? That's asking for trouble.
Worked so well for the Rangers back in the day. The test saying
should be coach. That's interesting.
Don Sherry. That'd be very interesting if he would coach in the modern day. Ted saying
that would work.
Yeah. Torth saying Torth can't hold the job. No thanks. Yes, he cannot hold the job. Period.
What do you mean he can't hold a job? He was in Columbus for how long? He was in Columbus for a while. Before that, he was with the Rangers for a long time, and he was with the Vancouver Canucks for a long time. To say he can't hold a job?
No, he was on the Canucks for 1 year. But you're right, though, about the other teams. Years. That's not holding the job for very long. They were shit, too, anyway, when he was out there. So, but everything else, you're correct. I'll give you that. You were correct with the Rangers. You were correct with Columbus. So, yes, you are right on that. Let's see. I have a feeling the Flyers will hire Dave Tippett because they love recycled coaches. And the fact that Owen Tippett's on the team.
He's not. Tortorella wasn't like half of the shit that some of these players these days do. He was not a fan of Trevor Zegras doing his alley-oop.
Let's see here.
Oh, and he was a Tampa Bay Lightning head coach too. I don't know why I didn't think about that.
Oh yeah.
That he was. And Anthony saying Jeremy Roenick should be the coach because he would teach the players to gamble and go to strip clubs. Hey, listen, if that's what helps them become better players, I'm all for it. Don saying, fellas, I'm a head out. Great show as always. Stay safe. Don, you take care, brother.
Yeah, we should wrap up this epic.
Yes, we should. We got to
episode.
do this shootout segment. Yes. Okay. Yes, he did.
No, Dylan, I agree. He's a total boomer. He doesn't like the finesse game. He's a hard-nosed guy. This is part of the reason why I think Columbus and Patrick Laine didn't mesh with him.
All righty. So let's see here. On to the shootout segment. The shootout segment brought to you by the doc, the one and only Dr. Paul Vidal over at Specialized Physical Therapy, the best physical therapy you can get in South Jersey. And yeah, they're the kings of what they do. If you got any aches and pains, you won't have them for much longer. Brian knows. He knows all about having some aches and pains and getting them treated by the doc.
'Cause I'm old. You get old, your muscles and your bones start to hurt. Every day after work, all my everything bones hurt.
All my everything bones
hurt. All my everything bones. Oh, it hurts. I need a cushy job where I can sit in a chair all day.
Ted's like, we need a coach with a mullet, business in the front, party in the back.
Don't say that, because then he'll probably wind up with Barry Melrose, and you don't want that.
That's exactly where my head went too on that one. That's exactly what I was thinking.
ESPN doesn't even want Barry Melrose.
I'd rather Eugene from The Walking Dead.
Yes, that's my dude. That's my dude. Robbie, how far are you into this season?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, two episodes ago, I felt for him.
Yeah, buddy.
I felt for him. My heart broke for him.
Yep.
Anyway, let's go.
All right, gents.
I'm hungry.
So let's get started with our shootout segment, and we start off with Game of the Week. Gentlemen, what do you got?
It's tough. I think the Rangers have a good game coming up this week against a contender.
Yes, sir. That's who I got. I got that. I mean, first of all, I picked Rangers Lightning last week, and that game did not disappoint. You know, 2-1 affair there. Rangers coming back and beating Vazzy and the Tampa Bay Lightning. They also beat the Hurricanes over the weekend. Road trip to creep within 3 points of the Metro leading Carolina Hurricanes and move ahead of Pittsburgh for second place. The game you're thinking of, Brian, and it's the game I have looking forward to this week. Penguins Rangers Friday night at MSG.
Yeah, that wasn't what I was thinking, but I think that's going to be a great game. I actually found another game that I think is going to be really good. Cool. Ted, mathematically, the Ducks are not out of it, but I think they're done, which is fine. They sold off a bunch of UFAs. I'm good with what they're doing. They'll be back in the playoffs either next year or the year before or the year after. But I'm thinking Tampa Bay and Boston on Thursday night.
Ooh, yeah.
Two teams that are pretty much have the same record. Tampa Bay went out and got a little bit better at the deadline. Boston went out and got a little bit better at the deadline. I love to see what this team does. Boston shored up the defensive side, acquiring Hampus Lindholm from the Ducks. And Tampa Bay went out and got a little bit more offense, getting Brandon Hagel from the Chicago Blackhawks. So I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see this game. They never disappoint. These are two teams that can hit, get very physical, and these are two teams that can score. So that's going to be a really good game to watch.
All right. For me, my game of the week, it's Giroux's 1,000th game. Easily.
Yeah.
And the Flyers won, too, on top of it.
Yeah, a game you had to win, too. You just had to win that game.
Yeah, they were amped up from the jump. Yeah, that was great. That was a great game, and it's tough to spend 1,000 games with one organization too. Because tonight was Mark Stahl's 1,000th game. Obviously not with Detroit, but spending most of his career with the New York Rangers. So, anybody that hits the 1,000 game mark, it's a huge thing. And Detroit played a little bit more amped up for Mark Stahl tonight. So,
Yep.
good for both of them.
All right, Robbie, was that your game of the week too, or did you have another one?
No, I said Rangers Pens.
Rangers Pens, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on to player of the week.
Ooh, Johnny's getting a penalty shot.
Yeah, he is. He got hooked in the arm. Burns got beat, and so that's what.
Talk about a guy that didn't even, he's really fizzled out. Was wow, that was such a lazy play by Burns.
It was. Good save though there from Reimer.
It's a great save, but that's such a lazy penalty. He should have just. That was terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what he was. Again, it's just another one of those.
Love save there by who is that? Who's that? Reimer?
Yeah, Reimer. Beautiful glove save. Reimer's been really good this year. It's a shame. Him and Hill actually played rather well this year. It's just a shame that the Sharks team could not keep it going. Started out fine.
We got to keep.
Anyway, my bad.
Sorry,
Yeah, getting distracted. Sorry. All right, to player of the week, gents. Who you got?
G. Sorry, Robbie.
Oh, you.
I was just saying G. That's it.
Yeah, that's why I figured it's short and sweet. Absolutely. Good nominee. I'm going to pick a D-man this week. I'm going to go with Roman Josi. We saw them before that 1,000th game for G. He overall last week collected 3 helpers in each of the 3 games Nashville played to be top in the NHL with 9 assists, 9 points, and a plus-minus, actually tied for +6. The Predators now 37, 22, and 4, 78 points. They earned a pair of victories last week to maintain 3rd place in the Central, looking strong for their playoff run.
And the one thing to mention is now Roman Josi's up to what, 70? I don't know if he's played since the Anaheim game, but in the Anaheim game he tallied points number, I think, 76 and 77. So, and he's the lead, I think he leads the league in defensive goals. So Yossi's back.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's G. I mean, I don't care. I'm going all the way with this. It's going to be his 1,000th game and G as well. So, on to the hot take of the week to wrap this bad boy up. What you got for me?
You want me to go, Brian?
Yeah, go ahead, because I'm thinking.
I'm going to go the biggest. We talked a lot of trade deadline talk this show, so I'm going to say the biggest winner of the trade deadline may very well have been the Seattle Kraken. They shipped off 6 players, including all of their expiring contracts currently on the club, and gained back 10 draft picks in total. They didn't find another first-round pick, missing out on that opportunity in the Giordano deal, but they did get a higher-than-expected return on others like Jeremy Lauzon going to the Predators for a second-round pick. As a result, the Kraken now have 34 picks spanning over the next 3 drafts. That's just huge for this club, man, especially with the 2023 draft expected to be one of the deepest ones in recent history, as we've highlighted several times during this show. I mean, you talk about a team that just, they continue with their mantra from the expansion draft of just build, 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 man. They're doing it the right way.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is, you use 34 picks in 3 seasons. No, not all of them are going to get used. So you're going to be able to move them to bring some players in too, either during the draft, before or after the draft. So that's huge for Seattle to move forward. And we were saying at the beginning of the year, man, even when we looked at the roster for the first time and we're like, wow, this kind of underwhelming. So, now we're starting to see things starting to really play out for this roster, and they're going to start putting some things together. I think Seattle's going to compete in the next couple of years. And again, it's a bigger picture situation with Seattle. It's not an immediate impact.
Right.
So the Sharks just pulled within one with a nice goal right there. Went off of Markstrom into his own net on a bad angle shot. All right.
I feel like that's the 12th goal he scored from that area.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know in his 4-goal game, he scored from there. I think he scored from there twice.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Hot take of the week.
All right.
Hot take of the week. I don't know, Maddie. Do you have yours ready?
My
Prison. Anyone who traded with Chicago was the biggest winner at the trade deadline in my book. Praise, man. We pull you off the deep end. Come on.
Joe, can the Seattle compete with Dave Haxtell? Maybe not, but who knows? Still very young, still looking for an identity. It's only their first year. But as for my hot take this week, I will say the Flyers will win 2 games on this road trip. And yes, that qualifies as a hot take. It'd be crazy if they win just 1.
Watch they beat Colorado.
They beat Colorado, and then they go the rest of the trip until the very last game, and then they win that one. And it's like, what the fuck is this?
beat the Wild with Fleury for old time's sake.
Yeah, they get in Fleury's head just one last time. Oh, all right, Brian. What you got for a hot take?
I don't know. I'm out of ideas.
Okay.
He's really still in second place? Jesus Christ.
All right then. So with
You know what?
that,
I'm gonna go on one. I'm gonna say the Kings wind up winning the Pacific Division.
okay.
I like that.
All right.
I mean, they still got a ways to climb back into it, but they're not out of it.
Vegas got shut out by the Wild last night with Fleury on the bench. Boy, Vegas is just a free
Calle
fall.
was in that, so that's not a terrible. That's not necessarily a surprise.
Yeah. But anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we thank everybody for joining us out there in the fam. We love you guys, of course, as always, and we thank you for tuning in, chiming in, as always. Next week, we do have a game to react to, and I say react to in the loosest form of that term, because let's be honest here, we're not really reacting. Not at this point, we're not. But the Flyers will be taking on the Minnesota Wild and finishing off their road trip. So we will be here for the end of this gauntlet of a road trip coming up.
I think that'll be a really good game too.
Yeah,
that has the potential to be a good game.
Be very, very interesting. And so that'll be next week. Until then, everyone, you stay safe, you stay healthy out there. And one last thing I'm going to throw up here so that everybody can see. Get this. Become a member. $9.99 a month. You see those perks down there? Get that shit. Get it. Then use BetUS and FanUp and make yourself some money. You won't even need to worry about the $9.99. All right, then.
That's
and
right.
with
You'll
that,
get videos and all kinds of stuff from Willie Vegas and Nate Money Moss. And then all kinds of great perks just come with it. So,
absolutely. And if you want to support the show, Philly Drinkers, right here. All your merch, you get it from there. And to finish this one up, one last throw up here for Manscaped. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week right here on A2DRadio.com. Peace and love, everyone.